We are back in Nashville. This time it's the Superspeedway for round number 24 of the 2022 XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday Series. It's the XCAL Racing Web Shop 400 from Lebanon, Tennessee. So glad you could join us here, folks, on the networks of How to Suck at iRacing alongside Doug Burns, working the control buttons in the booth. I'm Marty Sakala. So, Doug, we're here in Nashville tonight, and it's kind of like a super speedway, but on steroids. You gotta use the brake. You gotta let your foot off the gas when you're entering the corner. This could be the toughest speedway race of the year.
Yeah, this track also, in addition to what you just mentioned, extremely abrasive. Tire wear is going to be a huge issue. These guys can only get up to 40 laps on a tank of fuel, so they're going to have to try and make those tires last that length of time. These cars are big, heavy. The tires are not big, and it's going to make it interesting. We see in Cup, Truck, Xfinity, everything else that runs here, we see that slide move off turn 4. I don't think we'll see that early, but man, late in the run, expect to see some guys slide off turn 4 to the outside wall.
Absolutely. First driver we'll talk with is our pole sitter, Zach Edwards, who's got a couple of speedway wins this season. Zach, it's your first pole of the season, so you're starting up in the front spot. How's that feel as you take the green flag tonight?
Yeah, it feels great, Marty. Everybody wants to start up front, and we started near it quite a bit, but never been on the pole, so it's pretty cool. I don't think it necessarily matters as much here at a track like this, but it's still cool to get the pole. We're definitely happy about it.
What's your main key for tonight?
Just don't make mistakes. Keeping our car clean, keeping everything going in the right direction. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting race as far as strategy and the different pace. Like, you got a lot of guys that are usually pretty good, but like this week they're really good, and I think it's just going to be, you're racing different people, let me put it that way. So I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but we're going to try and keep this J&S Alloy Wheel Repair hot rod up near the front.
Best of luck tonight, Zach.
Thank you, Marty.
That's Zach Edwards, who starts from pole position. Let's get to the other Edwards. We'll get your points leader here, Austin Edwards, who's got some big news that came out earlier in the week. Doug's got him.
Hey, Austin, I have to ask, man, did your sugar mama go buy you some cars, buddy?
Well, yes, she did, Doug. It's been an eventful year, not only on the simulator but also in real life. So I've had to resort to throwing all my winnings towards the gas money in my little car. So couldn't really afford to run all of them anymore. Had a little sugar mama come by, buy 4 of my cars, so my guys can still keep running with me. So we're bound to have some fun tonight.
So what do you guys have going on, and what is the future for EHP?
The future's unknown, Doug. We don't know where this league is going. I don't know where I'm going. I might get sent off to college for all I know, but I know I'm ready to finish off this season strong. Beyond that, we're here to have some fun, hurt some feelings, and hopefully bring some more cars to victory lane.
Well, man, you're leading the points. Not many races left to go. You started pulling away. It continues to open up the gap. Can you get the win here tonight?
Yeah, we're going to find out, Doug. We got a lot of work to do coming from the back after our penalties from Auto Club. So it's going to be another one of those races where it's all about fuel strategy. But in my case, I'm going to have to throw that out the window for the first run and try and come to the field. So just looking for a consistent night. Want to keep it in one piece, keep at least a few points in the bank, and hopefully we can finish it off strong and make a miracle happen like we did at Irwindale.
Well, good luck tonight, Austin.
Thank you, Doug.
That may be the most southern twang I've ever heard from Austin Edwards, Doug.
Yeah, but you haven't heard me get pissed off. It gets much worse.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's talk to a guy that knows how to get pissed off. And that is Matt Bear. Matt, let's talk about your car here tonight. Tonight you start from position number 28, so you got in via a top 15 spot. Just talk to us what you're expecting from your car tonight.
I expect the car to go win tonight, plain and simple, Marty. We're one of the best cars here tonight. We got a new technical alliance with dropping bombs starting this week, and it seems like it's really paid off. I think we have the best car here tonight. It's really just going to come down to if we can avoid the big ones, because people are going to get aggressive, people are going to dive bomb underneath people, and there's no telling what's going to happen when that happens, because it's just going to be calamity at that point.
How do you try and make your way through the field here tonight? Is it because you said there could be a lot of risk takers? Is this where you kind of have to be patient like it is on a short track?
Yeah, it's tricky, Marty. You don't really know how the first green flag run is going to play out. I mean, do we go all the way, run it out, have to pit, green flag cycle, or do we get that caution? Because that's when you can split it up. You can do something different fuel-wise to get up there, then just have to pit a little earlier than everybody else when we do go green. It's a limbo right here. So I mean, because we can go fast, we can stay in the draft, but it's just going to come down to how you manage getting through the field. You've got to be a calm aggressive right here tonight, because people are going to push up, and especially in the corners, as soon as they push up, they're going to look to come right back down. And for the people that are being aggressive and moving into that hole, that's where the chaos is going to ensue.
One more question. Do you play FIFA?
Oh, brother, I play FIFA all the time. I'm looking for anybody to play with me.
I had to ask that. All right, you know what to say at the end.
Bing bong, and I'll see you in victory lane.
All right, good luck, Matt.
Thank you, brother.
That is Matt Bear, who is starting through a top 15 spot. Our final interview before we go green is Billy Snodgrass in the 062. Billy coming off of starting in 16th place. Billy, let's talk about first off, let's just talk about what you're expecting tonight.
I'm expecting a few cautions, but other than that, I expect it to be pretty clean.
Last week you came oh so close to the win. What more did you need on the push that Johnny B was giving you at the end, and how tough were the J&S guys at the end of that race 2 weeks ago, rather?
They were pretty tough. I didn't know that they were all on the same team, so I should have went with the push earlier.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck tonight, man. Hopefully we'll see you in victory lane tonight.
Thank you.
That's Billy Snodgrass. Billy starting from position number 16. Tonight's race is brought to you by the XCAL Racing web shop. Make sure you head to xcalracing.com/shop for all things XCAL Racing. Our newest products include an XCAL Racing accessory pouch, an XCAL Racing puffer jacket, and XCAL green socks. Yes, that's a new kind of color in the Crayola system. XCAL green. You thought Kelly green was a thing at first, Doug. Now there's XCAL green.
I'm so confused. But coming into tonight, a good question. Normally on a super speedway event like this, the guys will be running fixed setups, but don't believe that's the case tonight.
Nope, not at all, because this is a 1.25 mile track. That means it is under the limit for all drivers here, so because of that, they will have to run open setups. Look at your point standings coming on in here for tonight. Austin Evers continues with a commanding points lead at 3,670 points over Alex Krapser at 3,328. Third in points, Zach Edwards with 3,170. Blake Winforth, 3,071. Luke Turpin, 5th, 3,055. That was the big change in the points with Blake Wynn and Luke Turpin swapping spots from last week. The 48 team, Kyle Martin drove it last week, 6th, 2,807 points. 7th, PDJ Zeller, 2,758 points. 8th, the number 17, now owned by Matika, 2,615 points. 9th, the 36, last driven by Steven Rex, 2,589 points. And 10th, the 88 of Kyle Bartles, 2,534. Let's get things going here. We've got 42 men ready to take the green flag. Here is the starting lineup. On the front row, Zach Edwards in the 6 and Edmund Jones in the 28. Row number 2, Greg Holes in the 19 and Blake Wynn in car number 99. Row 3, Sean Patrick in the 51, Chris Johnson in the 25. Row 4, Brent Meckes in the 66, Luke Turpin in the 454. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, Kyle Bartles in the 88 and Jeremy Gilliatt in the 22. Row number 6, good friends Rob Colgan in the 94 and Jeff Edgar in the 7. Row 7, Steven Rex in the 36, Rodney German in the 60. Row 8, Brett Ebley in the 56, Billy Snodgrass in the 062. Row 9, Don Jordan in the 61 and John Schwartz in the 01. Nice qualifying runs from Ebley and Jordan out of the Black Sheep Racing camp. Row number 10, it's Tyler McRae in car number 45. Jonathan Bergeron, the 717. Expect him to make his way up to the field quickly. Row 11, James Johnson in the 48. Noah Carpenter in the 23. Row 12, Kevin Church in the 9. Stephen Wetton in the 15. Now your drivers view the top 15. Alex Krapser 25th. PDJ Zeller 26th. Alex Gratz 27th, Matt Beard 28th, Nicholas Teams 29th, Matt Pelletier 30th, Mason Foster 31st. Your provisionals for tonight: Ryan Seams 32nd, Jose Gaudino 33rd, Joe Campbell 34th, Albert Hewins 35th, Derek Colson 36th, Gerald Poole 37th, John Friley 38th, John Andrews 39th, Art Hendren 30th. The following 3 drivers are starting from the rear due to penalties with 1 of 2 strikes towards disqualification. Austin Edwards 41st, Adam Gilly at 42nd, and Robbie Keneally 43rd. However, though, it's only 42 drivers taking the green, so we had 1 driver not show up. 300 laps and 400 miles, a very quick fuel window, 35 to 39 laps. Expect 8 pit stops, more strategies than any other track we see here. So we're set to take the green flag as they come off turn 4. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Zach Edwards and Edmund Jones bring us to green. Showtime in the Music City.
And Edmund Jones, best start of the season up on the front row. Going to try and hang on up front. Now that Matika's a car owner, you got to wonder how things are going to go tonight. And Matika, are you yelling in his ear, keeping him in line? Are you keeping Austin in line? There's the important questions. And J&S, after some domination 2 weeks ago, looking to repeat here tonight.
Absolutely, that's for sure. As Edwards gets away with the lead, Jones second. Wynn shuts the door on Greg Holes, take away 3rd spot, while Chris Johnson tries to come down in front of Turpin for 5th position. Off of turn number 4, lap 1 in the books, led by Zach Edwards, and that's something we should expect tonight. Bunch of drivers going on the apron as runoff to try and gain some momentum. There is no out of bounds here in Nashville. And look at Blake Wynn on the charge, meanwhile, while at it. He wants the lead early off of turn 2 on Zach Edwards, Doug.
Blake Wynn making the move down to the inside. He's got the momentum down the back straightaway. And you mentioned going down to that apron. Yeah, that can build some speed, but there's 2 caveats to that. Coming back up on the track, it gets bumpy. It can send the car around. The other part is if you're consistently down on the apron, it does increase tire wear. We see that at numerous tracks that this is possible. And yeah, you've got to be careful and manage that tire wear because this is a concrete track and it will eat the tires alive.
Jeff Edgar trying to get around the 7. Oh, trouble behind them. Yellow flag is out. We got the 9 around Kevin Church. And it looks like a single car accident and a close call. Let's take a look at the Flaming Karma Paint Shop replay, Doug.
Down into turn 1. And looking to see the 9s up high. There was somebody, they were 3 wide with the 17 in the wall. And the 9 checking up. I think he might have gotten a love tap from behind. Let's see if we can find another angle on this. Because it got a little dicey off into 1. You see several cars up in the wall in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was Abley that got into the 36 of Steven Rex, which got him sideways. Nice save, but it was all thanks to the door slam he got from John Schwartz. So he was involved in that one. And you mentioned Jonathan Bergeron, who was one of the favorites to win here, involved early. Looks like some damage as well from the 131 of Ryan Seams. And so that is how the first caution is out. That should be a strike on Brad Abley. We'll get the confirmation here from Aaron Hillebush in just a matter of moments. Bergeron is in the pits. And let's talk about him, why we said expect him to get up to the front of the field in no time. When we went to this track for the K2 shootout to begin the year as a preseason race, Jonathan Bergeron had the car to beat. Like, while there was a lot of pack racing, he could run all by himself and have so much speed. It was like Bill Elliott at Talladega in 1987 or something. So we're seeing some drivers come on into pit road, and I think the key for them is just to top off on fuel.
Now, I have to ask, Marty, you know the facts, but do you remember when that happened with Bill Elliott at Talladega in 1987?
I do not know.
Why not?
I know I know that Bill Elliott made up 2 laps on the field.
Yes, he did. He was sending it that day, and I heard when we were talking in pre-race, there was even a driver that managed to lap the field during one of the heats.
It was Jonathan Bergeron. And then what he decided to do, here's what Bergeron decided to do. He decided to pit under the green flag and came out 4 seconds behind the field. He was just looking for a challenge or something.
He is still at the back of the pack when he can lap the entire field. I don't expect him to stay back there long. And speaking of guys not staying back there very long, I was just looking. Austin Edwards looks like he lost some. He went to pit road. He was up 10 spots prior to the pit stops. Now in 34th, Ryan Seams up to 35th, and I know we've got a bunch of Seams fans out there. Nick Seams also up 8 spots into 20th.
So coming to green this time by, let's say hello to a couple of people. Hello to Kenny Trips watching. Hello to Johnny B. Saying watch out for the Satellite Munitions Motorsports teammates, Brent Meckes and Billy Snodgrass. Hello to Jason Seams rooting for Nicholas and Ryan. Hello Danny Sargent and Laura Gleason rooting for the JNS Racing Squad. And hello to Matika rooting for Edmund. And says Matika and the kids are cheering Edmund on. So let's reset the field as we come back to green. First caution after 1 1/4 laps, turning into calamity early. Blake Wynn, Zach Edwards, row number 1. Edmund Jones, Greg Holes, row 2. Chris Johnson, Jeff Edgar, row 3. Ronnie German, Luke Turpin, row 4. Sean Patrick, Jeremy Gilliatt round out the top 10.
This is going to be interesting. These drivers in the front half of the field have some heat and grip in those tires. The guys at the back half of the field have fresh tires. Will that make any kind of difference as Blake Wynn fires? They come to the green.
Into the restart zone, he holds serve on Zach Edwards as Edwards comes down. That's going to be close to see if he changed lanes prior to taking the green flag. He looked good on my end just as he was about to make the lane change. Battle for 5th, Luke Turpin and Jeff Edgar. I'd watch out for the twisted... and a warning on Zach Edwards as he almost changed lanes. If he does it one more time, it will be a black flag. But how about Jeff Edgar up in 6th position? This is going to be one of your dark horses tonight. And the reason why I say that is because Jeff is really good when it comes to these Speedway open setups. His team's so good at Rockingham. He was very good at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. Expect him to be a contender tonight.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch and see how Jeff does. He was in the battle. He's been in the battle at a lot of these high-speed tracks. Does a great job, so we'll be keeping a close eye on him. Another one, the points leader, now up into 31st after starting back in 40th. He's making his way up, and the inaugural race of the season winner, Joe Campbell, starting to make his way forward, up 4 spots, battling with Sean Andrews, who's now up 10 spots.
Biggest mover, Robbie Keneally, up 17 spots. He's currently in 25th position. Ebley and Bergeron in the pits, so not the start that the Black Sheep Racing drivers wanted. Greg Holes, quickest car on track last time by, 34.92, as he's closed in on Edmund Jones and Zach Edwards. It's a 3-car battle for second, while Blake Wynn starts to open the gap to 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming quite a race up front. Guys using every bit of the track they can possibly find here, just trying to make something happen, make some moves here as Edmund Jones goes back to second, moves Zach back into third. Edmund having a great run here tonight.
As Edmund almost washed up the racetrack, as though he stays behind. There you see Ebley making his way back out onto the racetrack after getting black flag. Now he cannot race the drivers because he is many laps down. You do not want to be down in a hole deep this early.
No, but I guess if you're going to be in a hole, now's the time. He'll get some opportunities to make up ground, whether it be on strategy or cautions getting waved around. Right now, he's got the best position for being a guy not on the lead lap. He'll be able to get next caution. He'll get one of those laps back. So he's got himself in a good way for the moment. Obviously not where he wants to be, but he's still got a shot at it.
Rodney German closing in on Greg Holes, and he looks around the outside.
Oh.
Hang on, Greg! Slideways,
Oh.
short tracking it off for turn 4. Great save.
Rodney German, he gets a little short track motion there. The back end trying to come around on him as well. And look at this as Greg Holes took advantage of it and Jeff Edgar trying to take advantage of it.
Jeff's getting the door shut by German off for turn 2. But knowing Edgar, that's a patient driver for sure. If you get blocked, he will definitely wait to make your move and will try and set it up in a matter of moments. Greg Holes, meanwhile, getting past for third on Zach Edwards.
And look back around 21st, starting with Nicholas Seams, who's now up in 21st, Matt Bear 22nd, Colson in 23rd, Jim Johnson 24th. It is just a mess here as guys are swapping spots every straightaway, every turn, trying to get some sort of advantage. The Mad Bear in that pack as well.
2 by 2 off of corner number 2, looking like a traffic jam on the I-90. And they're 3 wide, nearly 4 wide in the corner. Oh, hang on, we got one sideways. I think that was Austin. No, that was the 48 of Jimmy Johnson who saves it. But from my perspective, they were 3, nearly 4 wide in the corner.
And speaking of Austin, he manages to cut his way through there rather well. Now up into 28th place. Derek Colson up 10 spots, and as you mentioned, Keneally now up 16 spots. These guys are fighting for every bit of it. You know, if they would just work together for a few laps, they could really make a run because they're carrying a ton of speed. Blake Wynn, though, he is starting to open a gap on Edmond.
Absolutely. Oh, Colson nearly puts the bumper on Jimmy Johnson and also washed up at the same time, nearly getting into, I think that was Robbie Keneally in the black and blue 3 car. It was. We're only on lap number 15, and the drivers are racing like it's the final lap here, Doug.
Yeah, that nobody. Oh, and the 04 just started blinking. That is Sean Andrews. A couple of blinks through 1 and 2. Hopefully that squares away. They're 3 wide again down the back straightaway as guys are taking every opportunity.
I don't know if this is going to work with Keneally in that deep of a hole.
Dale Jr. once said, you got to run, you take it. But I'm thinking if he was in this mess, I don't know that he would be taking all the runs these guys are taking.
Same. In street stocks, it's easier to go 2 and 3 wide here in Nashville. In any other series like Cup, Xfinity, or Trucks, absolutely impossible.
Well, it's not impossible, but you don't want to be the guy on the outside when it happens.
Absolutely, because it could lead into a wreck or two.
It could. I have been the guy on the bottom, the middle, and the top coming off turn 4, and man, the eyesight is not where you want to be because usually if the guy on the bottom washes up, he gets the guy in the middle, and the guy in the middle can straighten himself out on the guy in the top, but the guy in the top always on the losing end. And here, oh, the 04 blinks again. He was gone for a second.
We also have as well a battle for the race lead breaking out. Blake Wynn, Edmund Jones, and the 28 has cut the lead down to 3.5 tenths of a second last time by. Edmund was faster by about 0.05 of a second. We'll check here the lap times at the start-finish line. Blake goes 35.22, as for Edmund, 35.33.
Yeah, Edmund still, though, almost into the draft here. He might be getting a little bit of help. He'll close this gap pretty quickly, but it's one thing to get up there. He's still got to figure out how to get around.
Absolutely. How about the start for Ronnie German, by the way, in car number 60 tonight? Up 9 positions from the drop of the green flag. Definitely an impressive run by him. And definitely as well a run that Don Jordan definitely approves of, because that 60 does not get a lot of airtime, and it's outside the top 20 in points.
Definitely. You know, Don's got to be really happy with the performance that this young man has had in this car all year. We have talked about him in just about every race he's been in this season. He's done an excellent job.
Trying to look down low on Zach Edwards and nearly got into him. He had to get off the gas and wash up the track at the same time. That nearly got disastrous. Zach's been starting to fade in this run here. I'm not sure what's going on for the pole sitter, but this is very interesting.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise to see. He's still in the top 5, but man, it's a bit of a surprise to see Zach struggling anywhere, especially this kind of a track.
How about Jeff Edgar not giving up here on Ronnie German, and the chassis tuna makes the pass stick. Now Luke Turpin looking for 6th on Ronnie German.
And look right behind him, Turpin right there in the fight, but Chris Johnson has caught up to. Chris looked like he was going to try and make it 3 wide.
No hole there. It got closed on him trying to thread that needle. As Turpin takes away the 6th spot on the track. German and Johnson battling for 7th. Update on the battle for the lead. It's down to 0.2 of a second. Edmund Jones faster by 0.06 last time by.
Edmund really having an awesome run here tonight. Great to see him back up in the fight. And you know, Matika and the kids have to be cheering here tonight. Edmund's doing a great job looking to get up here and get the points lead, or get the race lead, rather.
Derek Holson, we can tell you, by the way, he is on pit road. He had lagged out for a couple of moments. He got back in and connected off of turn 2. They're 3 wide. Watch the 45. Tyler McRae putting Brent Meckes in the middle. This could get good. This is the battle for 13th.
Yeah, this is getting sketchy. And oh, we've got to drift up the track, down the track.
Wow.
And oh my, that middle, the car in the middle just gets way out of shape really, really easily.
And I think Meckes saw, which is why Kyle Bartels decided to go up the track as well. If he stays there, they're probably both up in the wall. So that was probably the right thing for the 88 to do.
Meanwhile, Edmund is now right to the back bumper. He is right there on Blake Wynn's back bumper, looking for the lead here early. Remember, we said 40 laps would be the most any of these guys could do on fuel. However, with a few early caution laps, they might be able to extend it. Some of these teams likely already talking about fuel strategy.
Luke Turpin now up to 4th position. He's closed in on his teammate Greg Hulls. We don't talk about the 19 being the leading off Constantly Motorsports driver, the team that's owned by Matt Baer. So how do you think he's doing tonight? This has got to be a great start for him. Maybe his best start of the season by far.
It is one of his best runs of the season so far. Hopefully he can hold on to it. We haven't seen Greg up here in the fight for the lead in quite a while, so it's great to see him getting back up here. And you heard it during pre-race, a couple of guys saying, hey, there's going to be some names you don't expect up here at the front tonight, because some of these guys we're not used to battling are really good here.
You see some other guys in this pack we've yet to talk about. Sean Patrick is there in the 51. Alex Gratz in the 17, up 16 positions. Biggest mover so far is Robbie Connealy. He's now up 22 spots. Game past Jimmy Johnson. And he is in that big pack right now. That's Colgan in front of him. Then you got Matt Baer, Don Jordan, Kyle Bartels, Brent Meckes.
Yeah, in this pack, they have not backed off an inch since the drop of the green. And look who's right in there with that mix. Excuse me, up 19 spots into 21st is Austin Edwards charges towards the front.
Having a good run so far as well. First driver that pitted on lap number 4 is Alex Gratz. He's now broken into the top 10. Currently running in 9th position. Had a 10-second pit stop. I would assume that was fuel only. If not, he just did 2 tires and no fuel.
He's another one having a great run here tonight. Of course, we're used to seeing Gratz up toward the front in these type races, so could see him make his way to victory lane tonight.
Saw Luke Turpin as well when we were talking about Greg Hulls make a pass for 3rd position. But again, like we talked about earlier with Jonathan Bergeron, if you've got a car that can work really well in clean air without any drafting help, you've got a great shot at victory lane tonight.
And worth noting, the top 2, Edmund Jones, Blake Wynn, still nose to tail. They have gotten around Colson, who's back out on track now. Colson, the first car to, or actually the second car to go a lap down here.
You see the drivers going down the back straightaway, a lot of them going 2 by 2. Edgar and Gratz are trying to work with each other on the high side. Now, I'm curious, Doug, from your perspective, what's the advantage of being up on the high side compared to the bottom of the racetrack?
More momentum, especially off the corners. Plus, up there on the high side, you're not turning the wheel as much. You save a little bit more of tires, especially those front tires. So you're saving a little bit. You burn a little bit more fuel, but you save it in tires. You save it in momentum. So it's definitely one of the fastest ways around as the 17 just pushes Edgar
How about
out.
it? Nice bump draft from Jeff Edgar. Up into third position, highest he's been when we're 3 wide coming to the line. Turpin on the runoff. Gratz uses it too. The 17 is looking to break into the top 3, up 23 spots. And he does. Let's see if Edgar moves down to the bottom. Oh, it's almost thought about, but decided to keep it up top because I think his car was about to get tight there.
Yeah, and I just noticed back here this battle with Billy Snodgrass, Zach Edwards, Chris Johnson. There are some guys that we're starting to see a little bit of, hey, I don't have... Oh! Zach Edwards gets a little bump as they come through 3 and 4. These guys are starting to show a little bit of tire wear. The car does not have nearly as much grip.
Keep in mind we are... Oh, trouble! One car sideways! I think that was...
Brett Meckes.
Yes, Makis in the 66.
Let's see what happened with the Flaming Karma replay. Down the front straight away, there was some checking up. Meckes gets the bumper from the 420 of Matt Bear, but manages to pull up and save it.
Nice save for him, that's for sure. So, Blake Wynn, Edmund Jones still 1 and 2. Alex Gratz now up to 3rd. Jeff Edgar 4th. Luke Turpin still in the 5th position with Chris Johnson working on him. We expect the top 16 to come out in just about 5 laps from now. For everyone that pitted under the first caution, probably 10. And I think Luke Turpin is getting ready to come in based on how he exited off of turn 2. I'm not too sure, though. Don't quote me on it.
I would be surprised, although we have seen Luke Turpin shake up the fuel strategy this season. I'd be surprised to see him come in quite this early. He is known for stretching it further than anybody, and this would definitely...
Trouble! Pelletier hard in the outside wall. Don Jordan is collected as well. Caution flag is out.
Looks like PDJ Zeller may have also been caught in this one, as right ahead of him is where the chaos starts. Everybody starts getting down to the bottom off the track. Let's see if we can get a better replay of the incident that happened ahead.
So Ronnie German got tight right in front of Don Jordan, and Jordan came down. There was a lot of net code there, so I think that's going to be deemed a net code incident. If not, I don't know who to put that on. Austin Edwards, I think, got a piece of that too in the 18. Actually, no, that was the 48 of Johnson.
Yeah, there was a little bit of net code off Don Jordan, but man, that is a racing incident if I've ever seen one. Guys just getting a push, getting a tap, getting loose, and everything goes sideways. But I would be willing to bet we see everybody on pit road now.
Absolutely. So as we were saying about green flag pit stops, not yet.
But caution flag pit stops, we're going to see everybody stopping, 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. We might see a few guys try some different strategy here as
Absolutely.
Blake Wynn leads them down. This is the best opportunity if you're going to try something.
Yeah, we mentioned Nashville has more strategies than any other track. You could do either 4 tires in field or 2. I would go, if it were me, I'd probably go for 2 tires here.
It's definitely a tough call because you do have the factor of the tire wear, but if you just get right sides only, you might be able to make it work or at least make it stick for a little while longer. It's definitely a question mark. Everybody lined up. Edmund Jones in the second pit stall, giving him the advantage. He's getting 4 tires. Will he be able to get rolling off pit road before everybody else? He's waiting on fuel.
Long stops. going in the 30-second range. I'm seeing a lot of drivers taking 4 tires and fuel. And it does take a while to fill up on gas. First guy out is Alex Gratz. And he won a 45-second stop.
Well,
So everyone else does, and he's going to win the race off pit road. Everyone going, it's about 50 seconds or so. So there's a 2-tire call, I would assume. Or trying to play the field game. Edmund Jones second, Luke Turpin third, Zach Edwards fourth, Jeff Edgar fifth.
Blake Wynn goes from the lead back into 6th. Austin Edwards, I do not know. He has to be playing the fuel game because he was on pit road long enough for 4 tires. He did not get a full tank. I can just about guarantee it. A 44-second stop here and ends up in 8th place. Robbie Keneally has a great stop as well. Ends up in 9th, up 33 spots.
So we are getting a black flag on the 61. The initial contact was a result of net code. So the 61 finished him off. And so that is the call there.
And Alex Gratz now up in the lead with Edmund Jones in second. You know, Edmund just needs a little bit of luck on pit road. He has been just as fast as the leader all night. Just needs one shot to get up there and take the lead.
So your wave arounds here will be Jonathan Bergeron and I want to say Brad Ebley, but nope, it's because he's in pit road. They won't give him one. So Jonathan Bergeron will get one of his laps back. However, though, he is currently scored 12 laps down.
You know,
Matt Pelletier, Nicholas Seams also coming to pit road. I want to look at Pelletier's damage. I'm sorry, Doug, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Marty, you know, Edmund's been lurking back there in second place. You have to wonder if he's ever going to get that one shot, that one opportunity to seize everything he ever wanted in one moment.
So we are 1 lap to the green flag, so we will be going back to green here this time by. Reset the field here on this restart. Alex Gratz and Edmund Jones in row number 1. Gratz selects the outside line. Zach Edwards, Luke Turpin, row number 2. Blake Wynn, Jeff Edgar, row 3. Row 4, Billy Snodgrass and Austin Edwards. And row number 5, Robbie Keneally and Sean Patrick. Edwards and Keneally each up 33 positions.
Seams, Pelletier, and Jordan just now coming off pit road. Seams is being scored a lap down. Not sure if that'll shake out in his favor, but we did see this, was it 2 weeks ago? One of those Seams ended up a lap down and made an epic comeback to the lead lap. You have to wonder if they have figured out some magic to get from a lap down to get up here battling for the lead.
So set to come back to green here for this restart. It'll be Gratz as the control car here.
Gratz choosing to restart on the high line. Here we go. Gratz fires. Green is back in the air. And Zach Edwards trying to get a run up to second on the high side. Looks like Edmund may be able to hold him off here.
Holding serve into turn number 1 with Turpin and Edwards going at it for third.
Holy cow, did you see the run by Turpin? He just drove it under.
Low line is where you want to be on these restarts for sure. Restart is under review per race control as Turpin gets a run downstairs for second on Edmund Jones.
He gets a run, but man, cold tires and Zach loses the back end underneath, and it looked like Luke was possibly in a four-wheel drift off turn 4. Looks like Edmund's waiting for the tires to come in. Everybody else is going for it, cold tires or not.
Edmund may be starting to fade back a little bit because he's up in no man's land. That high side doesn't really get a lot of boost until we get into a run. So we'll see what happens here.
Meanwhile, back behind, Robbie Keneally now up into 8th. Austin Edwards now up into 6th. Couple other big movers. Matt Bear up 15 spots into 12th. Mason Foster, who we haven't talked about tonight, he is up 16 spots into 14th. Sean Andrews up 21 spots into 17th. Joe Campbell on a mission tonight. He is in 20th, up 13 spots.
A lot of good runs from a lot of good drivers so far. Meanwhile, the battle for third, Edmund Jones and Zach Edwards. But Turpin all over Gratz, slingshot engaged for the race lead. And Gratz just lets him have it.
Yeah, Gratz may have just shot his own foot off doing so, though, because here comes the rest of the pack, and, he's going to get some help from Edmund, but Zach Edwards down the bottom, Blake Wynn right behind him. They're going to have some momentum going off into one.
Now let's see if Turpin can start to pull away. No, Alex Gratz gets a big run on him. You know what I think Turpin was doing? I think he was trying not to get too much of a gap where everyone could close in on him. So he decided to fade back, allows Alex Gratz and Edmund Jones to go up on the outside 3 wide for the top spot.
Yeah, Edmund drives it deep into 3. Here's his opportunity. He might be able to get not enough, but off turn 4, he'll have some drafting help from behind.
That is the 3 of Keneally giving him the push, who was in the top 10 for the first time today. Blake Wynn, the only guy in the middle. Now he decides to move up to the outside. Oh, Gratz gives Turpin the bumper. They wash up the track. Gratz in the win. They keep it straight. Wow, Turpin with a cold brown moment as Edmund goes to the race lead for the first time tonight.
Now they're 3 wide down the back straightaway, and Gratz is going to back out of it into turn 3, and Edmund Jones securely in the lead through 3 and 4. Blake Wynn trying to build a run back behind him. Can Edmund get the lap led here? He's got Blake behind him at the line. Edmund leads for the first time tonight and the first time in a while.
5 bonus points for Edmund Jones. I'll take a look at the stats in just a moment. Blake Wynn now has a run down to the inside. We're changing lanes here at Nashville Superspeedway. This is some fantastic stuff.
Meanwhile, back toward the back, I'm seeing a lot of movement around 20th as there is a gaggle of cars back here from about 15th on back, even further up. I mean, these guys are just moving back and forth all over the place, up and down the line, trying to get any momentum, any advantage they can. And it looks like, looking forward, this battle starts about 4th place. From
last time that Edmund Jones led at a race came at that one track on March 8th. Yes, that one track, a.k.a. Texas, where I got the wall. Meanwhile, how about Billy Snodgrass? In 4th position, up 12 spots, highest he's been in the race. He's come out quiet.
Yep, Billy just quietly making his way up toward the front. Same with Alex Gratz. These guys just sneaking their way up into the fight, and now they're there. There's 3 wide back behind. As they go off into turn 1, Matt Baer gets right to the back bumper. Is that Turpin down on the bottom? Can't tell. I think that might be a lap car right in front of Matt.
No, that is Luke Turpin, the green car on the bottom. He just got passed by both Baer and Keneally.
Yeah, it was Keneally that Matt was all over the back bumper of, coming through 3 and 4. Just helping push him by Turpin, and Turpin is fading. Now back into 10th.
Trying to get 9th away from Zach Edwards, and he does. Meanwhile, leaders amongst the top 5, maybe top 8, all single file. Look who else is up there. John Schwartz of the 01, who was involved in the first caution after keeping the 36 straight of Steven Rex. And he is in a battle with Sean Patrick for 11th.
Yeah, and then from 11th on back, man, it is just side by side, guys getting nose to tail. I've seen a bit of bump drafting out here. Everybody looking for opportunities anywhere they can find them.
And now Jeremy Gilliatt trying to get a chance at it underneath for 12th.
Also worth noting, Adam Gilliatt back in the field tonight. He is currently up 17 spots into 24th. Meanwhile, Jeremy up in the battle with Schwartz.
Battle for the race lead. Edmund Jones looking to the inside on Blake Wynn. Can he get the lead at the line? Oh, I think he did. He did. I think he was scored second.
Yeah, he was
Blake
scored
Wynn
second
leads
at the
line by 6,000ths of a second. On our leaderboard, we had Edmund leading, but now Edmund's got the lead. Blake counters back down low off of 2.
Man, if I'm Edmund, I'm going to try and conserve a little bit here. Let the kid get out in front of you and then drop in line. He's led the lap. He's got the 5 bonus points. He needs to try and save the car now and just make it last to the end. It's a long race. Saving some tires here in the middle of a run is a great idea.
That's a good idea for sure. How about Austin Edwards up there in 5th position? Oh, look at Blake Wood. Bump from Edmund Jones. He's put the slide job at him in the corner, and Edmund didn't like it. Opens up the door for Alex Gratz, wide open to take the race lead in 3.
Gratz to the front for the first time tonight. And here comes Billy Snodgrass. Where the heck? He started back in 16th and is now up here in the fight for the lead.
Absolutely great run for him. Now Snodgrass gets a run underneath on Alex Gratz. This is looking like an NR 2003 pack race with the AI. Remember that from back in the day? Oh, Snodgrass got tight in turn 2. Nearly doored Blake.
Yeah, I remember back to NASCAR racing too. You're still a pup. Alex Grant's out front, and you know his boss is not that many spots behind him. This could get interesting, as we've seen the EHP cars work really, really well together. I know they practice together, so I think that we could see if they can get connected. We could see some great teamwork. You know, if Austin gets up there to him, he's going to let the boss by to get his 5 bonus points. We've seen that team really work well together. We definitely saw a lot of it at Michigan, both races at Michigan. These guys worked, Auto Club last. Holy cow! Alex Gratz goes up the track, win to the lead.
What a pass from Blake Wynn to go to the point. Austin Edwards and Billy Snodgrass battling for second spot. I wish we could keep you on the action, but we got to step aside and take our first break of the evening. Blake Wynn leads Austin Edwards, Billy Snodgrass, Jeff Edgar, Alex Gratz, your top 5. If trouble breaks out, we'll break in. Stay with us.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and eNASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
Some wild racing while we were side by side as it's Austin Edwards out in front with company from Blake Wynn. Alex Gratz third, Matt Bear fourth, Edmund Jones in fifth, and how about Matt Bear into the top five for the first time tonight?
Yeah, Matt said we'd see him in victory lane. He's definitely making his way forward here tonight. And it looked like Edmund may have taken my advice, backed off, and conserving the car at least for the moment. But look at Robbie Keneally up 36 spots into 6th place, and Jeff Edgar in this battle as well. These two are having quite the battle and just letting everybody behind them sit and watch the show.
Absolutely a great race so far here. Billy Snodgrass behind them both, watching peacefully in this. But he's up to the quarter panel of Edgar. Let's see if he decides to look downstairs. He actually gives Edgar the push that helps Jeff briefly down the back straight.
Yeah, it looked not enough though, as Keneally gets the nose ahead going into turn 3. Oh, wow. Snodgrass almost getting that outside wall. He drops to the bottom and is giving Keneally a push now.
This could get interesting going into turn number 1, the tightest battle on the racetrack at the moment. Edgar's got the run off of turn 2. Keneally washes up, slams the door.
And man, they are nose to tail. We're seeing, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of guys taking advantage of any run they get, trying to find a place to put it. And they are doing an amazing job for only one caution tonight. Or I'm sorry, 2 cautions tonight. Man, these guys are really throwing these cars around. Looking back through the field, Sean Andrews up 23 spots into 15th. Mason Foster up 17 into 13th. Adam Gilliott now up 20 spots into 21st. Joe Campbell in 22nd. Albie Hewins, Alex Crapser 23rd. Albie in 24th. And Ryan Seams just holding on in 25th, biding his time because we've seen him do this week in and week out recently. He really, it's like John Schwartz was last season. We don't talk about him the first half, but by God, the second half he's there.
While we are at it, by the way, make sure you like the video on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. The more likes, thanks to algorithms, the more views we will get. Blake Wynn, meanwhile, closing in on Austin Edwards for the race lead. But wherever Blake Wynn goes, you know Alex Gratz will go the other way and work with his teammate.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this team works really, really well together. They communicate really well. They practice really well. I think we'll see this team, if they can get more of their team together up here, especially at these draft tracks, I think we'll see this team do a lot together. But they're going to have to get up there and get together. And I don't know how much the rest of the field is good. They're not going to make it easy on them tonight.
Absolutely, that's for sure. As we've got the top 5 currently nose to tail under a blanket. Luke Turpin now with a run inside on Jeff Edgar. Turpin takes away the 7th spot. Snodgrass, that is, looking for 8th.
Snodgrass is, oh!
Oh, hang on, Billy.
Edgar gets the wall, comes down, gives Billy a little love tap on the door. Billy manages to save it. That car was quite a bit out of shape there, but a great save by Snodgrass. He'll keep going.
Gives a chance for Jeremy Gilliott to take away the 9th position. If so, I believe that will be the highest position he's been in throughout the race.
And speaking of big changes in position, Zach Edwards started up front on the pole, is now back in 11th. This is not a very Zach Edwards kind of thing. Danny, if you're watching, what's going on with Zach's car tonight?
That is a good question for sure. Let's go back up to the race lead. And again, Blake Wynn all over Austin Edwards. He may get a run here off of turn number 2, Doug. He's trying to find a way to peek to the inside, but he just has nothing with the draft.
Man, it takes a lot to make a move here to get enough of a run. We've seen most of these guys We've seen some guys get the massive run and make the big pass, but most of these guys we've been watching takes 2 or 3 laps. They have to get the nose inside and just keep inching it forward, turn after turn, lap after lap, until they finally get clear. It's going to take a lot to get past a guy like Austin Edwards, and it's not going to be done quickly. It's going to be done an inch at a time.
Keep in mind as well, we are a couple of laps away from green flag pit stops. This is the 32nd lap of this run since all the drivers pitted on lap 34.
Yeah.
Blake trying once again, nothing.
I think we'll see a couple of guys try and stretch it here early because of that caution. I don't think we're going to see everybody hit pit road. We could see guys like Luke Turpin or like the J&S team. We could see some of those groups actually try and stretch the fuel on this second run just to see if they can make it a little bit further. Yeah, they practice with these setups. They did the heats with these setups, but track temperature could be different. The grip may be different. The sky is cloudy right now versus I know some of those heats were in the sun. Anything could have changed here, and guys have to adjust their plan accordingly.
What position would you like to be if you're Blake Wynn when you come down to pit road? Because we know he's got a fast car. He may have perhaps the fastest car tonight because Blake Wynn is very good on these speedway-like tracks.
Man, if you're Blake Wynn, you're probably wanting to come down in second place. You want to get out there and lead some more laps so you can get that 5 bonus points for leading the most. But honestly, you want to come down in second. You want to be able to watch Austin Edwards and his pit stop, and you want to be able to control who comes out behind you, in front of you, everything else. Because if you can come out and time it where you come out in second, make the other driver pull you up to speed, you save a little bit of fuel. And we heard a lot of drivers talk about this could come down to a fuel mileage battle.
Just had a change for 17th position. Kyle Bartles gets past Tyler McRae. Let's show you in front as well. Mason Foster, Sean Patrick. Here comes the 51 with a run to the inside. And a change for the lead, by the way. Austin Edwards is up the racetrack. Blake Wynn goes to the point.
Austin drifts all the way back into 5th and continuing to drop. Edmund Jones is back there waiting on him. And Edmund not on the EHP team tonight. He's driving for... Wait a minute. That's got to be weird. I wonder if that's causing a problem at home that Edmund's not driving the EHP cars.
Absolutely. That is car number 28. That's a Black Sheep racing scheme for those wondering at home.
But you know, him and Austin are good friends. They've got some of their teams starting to form up just outside of the top 5. This could be a collaboration between a couple of teams working together to try and get up and dominate.
Pit stops are underway. Robert Colgan, Kyle Bartles, Kevin Church. The first 3 drivers in. Let's see who comes in next.
I don't think we'll see these leaders for a couple more laps. You always got to try and stretch that extra lap or two to see if there's any incidents coming off pit road that you could possibly put yourself in the position that you've lapped a couple of cars and, hey, you get to pit under caution a little bit easier. You got a little bit more time.
You saw as well Turpin try and make a run underneath on Austin Edwards for 5th position. That didn't work out. Nobody coming into pit that time. Actually, correction, Derek Colson made his way into pit road. Art Hendren just entering the pits. We got some drivers ducking down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Don Jordan on his way in now.
Oh, hang on, Alex Gratz up the racetrack he goes. Coming into pit. Blake Wynn comes into pit.
Oh!
A very tricky apron to come into pit road. And Doug just showed you why, pretty much.
That got dangerous for a second there. Let's see if we can see. Austin Edwards was in the middle of this, so let's hit the Flaming Karma replay and back this up just a little bit, and we'll show you. These guys did, you know, they're communicating, hey, I'm coming to pit road, but watch this. When they said they were coming, man, they were coming, and Austin just slides it in there.
So because of that, that gives Matt Bear the race lead. Another driver coming on in, that's Billy Snodgrass, who almost lost it on the exit of turn number 4. Same with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Everyone going for 4 tires in full fuel here.
Yeah, and I'm these guys staying out might be the smartest ones. They've seen what's happening going to pit road here tonight, and you know, the likelihood of a caution is going up very, very quickly with green flag stops.
So Matt Bear, Luke Turpin, the only 2 working together. Jeff Edgar now brings... Oh, we got one off the track. It's Matt Bear. Sent it in way too much, but I think he made pit in. He did. He did make it inside the commitment cone.
Let's see how it happened. He's already loose, and he just missed pit road entry completely. He may get penalized for unsafe pit entry on that one. We'll have to wait and see if he gets that time penalty.
Remember, it's inside the cone. That is a safe pit entry, so I think he's good. Only waiting on one more driver to come in. That is Zach Edwards. And now Zach makes his first stop. Look at that send.
Man, all these drivers at the top, they are drifting onto pit road. You know, that's Austin Edwards' specialty, so he is loving pit road entry, I bet, tonight.
Absolutely.
Robbie Keneally still out there. He's completed his stop. Alex Gratz, Blake Wynn, Austin. I think this may cycle around to Keneally with the lead.
So Robbie Keneally, the first guy out on track that has already pitted, but we got a bunch of them coming on out now. First guy that is out, I thought for a moment it was Greg Holtz. Now it's Luke Turpin.
Keneally shooting up here. He's just going to need to get past Luke Turpin. Here he comes.
Keneally got it.
And yeah, it's going to be Keneally, and he's got a gap on Gratz. He's got a lap car there to help him out of the 717. So, hey, you know what? I think Keneally's going to get scored leading a lap here.
You won't yet because Zach
Zach's
Edwards
still
is
on
on
pit
lap
road.
75.12. Yes.
Hey, good evening, David. How's it going, buddy?
And this is interesting for Robbie as well because he's got a driver between himself and Alex Gratz / Blake Wynn / Zach Edwards. And that, of course, is Jonathan Bergeron. And remember, he was in the first caution of the race, so he is not in the battle for the race wins. So that could get interesting.
Austin Edwards just set the fastest lap of the race so far at 34.78. Blake Wynn ran his fastest lap at 34.80. These guys, I think the track temperature is coming down a bit. These guys are getting more grip, the engine's breathing, and they are going faster.
Great lap time for Austin there. So we've got the top 4 drivers working together. Then the second line is Zach Edwards and Kyle Bartels. Then it's Jeremy Gilliatt all the way back to Jeff Edgar. And probably the biggest line we have for right now, just taking a look. Edmund Jones is all by himself. Then it's Sean Patrick to Sean Andrews. So that's about maybe 7 cars. And it's Rodney German all the way through to Jose Gaudino. So that's actually the Peloton pack at the moment when it comes to the drivers on the lead lap. Austin Edwards again, the quickest car on track, this time 34.74.
Yeah, Austin's definitely cranked it up. You heard him talking pre-race that he had to really push it on that first one, and then he was just going to try and maintain his points lead. Holy cow!
Wow, oh, Don Jordan, a little squirrely.
Everybody's squirrely, let's be honest. Off of turn 4 that time, in that group, everybody was squirrely.
And these cars are driving terrible, but a battle for the lead. Keneally gives Alex Gratz the room. 17 goes out to the front.
You know, we have seen a lot of guys run lead 3 or 4 laps and then drop back, and it's an intentional drop back. It's not like they got moved or they washed up. They just drop back and let it go. I got to wonder what's going on here if some of these guys are planning on that fuel strategy, just going to sit in the draft.
Probably, and with this run of green flag pit stops here, Doug, I think what we're seeing now here is just a game of patience.
Probably so, and we need to come up with a nickname for the Seams fan club, by the way. Ryan Seams, currently in this monster pack in 28th. He's just been hanging out so far. But Ryan, buddy, your fans want you to crank it up. Get moving to the front. Nicholas Seams still a lap down, back in 37th. He is in position. He's got to get past one more car to put himself in position to get waved around under the next caution.
Yeah, that's tough to figure out a nickname. I don't know.
I have a few, but none of them are appropriate.
Understandable. Look at some other battles here on the racetrack. Matt Bear, Kyle Bartles, that's for 5th. Nice run for Bartles tonight. He's been quiet. It's made its way up to the field after that round of pit stops, taking 6th.
Seamsters.
Ooh, that's a good one.
See, there you go. Making a note of it.
There you go. Yep, I like it.
You know, we've seen some big groups of fans for drivers in the past, but I think I think the Seamsters are probably the biggest group of fans for any one or two drivers that we have seen the last couple of years.
Absolutely. There's the Seams. We also got the Bartles fan club. Oh, wait, no, not Bartles. I'm thinking of Edmund Jones's fan club. We've got the JNS crew watching. A lot of supporters, so we definitely appreciate it.
Edmund working his way back up. Now you mention him. He is now up into 12th, fighting his way through. He was up there all alone, had no drafting help, got swallowed up by this second big pack, and drifted back to about 14th. He's now back in 12th after starting in the front row, but you can see the momentum is starting to build again for him as he starts to make his way back through this group. Man, what a run he had on Edgar into 3.
Yeah, Jeff Edgar's been starting to fade. Yeah, look at that. He got a big run. In fact, the last pit stop for Jeff Edgar was one of the slower on pit road as a whole, 129.38.
Edgar's one of those drivers that even halfway through a run, he's still kicking out the back end. That car is really loose, and we're going to see a lot of guys change. As he's bump drafting Edmund down the back straightaway, we're going to see a lot of cars change as the track temperature changes, as the sun goes down. Things are going to change, cars handle differently, and they're going to have to make adjustments on pit road to make these cars stick.
Let's go to the bottom half of the field. We told you about that Peloton pack. Steven Wetton, Rodney German, battling for 23rd. Oh, we got one up in the wall. I don't know who it is. I want to say it was Brent Meckes. Nope, it wasn't. I don't know who.
Meckes has had a rough night regardless. A bit heartbreaking getting caught up early. Rodney German was up towards the front earlier on. Now they're going to go 3 wide in the back. They are racing all around this track, and wow. German trying to pinch him down on the bottom, have as much momentum. He slides it off 4.
Oh, almost puts the 60 into the wall. If I'm Albie, Ryan, Joe, everyone behind, beware and back off. I see somebody backing off. That's Steven Rex.
Yeah, you got to be really careful when this kind of thing is going on, and it does not look like German is giving up because he slides back, but now he's starting to build that run again. He actually peeked out like he was going to go make a move on the high side again, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Meanwhile, Adam Gilliant is trying to hold off Steven Wetton up on the high side.
And I think we missed a change for the race lead. Austin Edwards is back out in front.
You know, Austin has done this all season long. We saw last season the record-setting wins, but this season we've seen not only the wins, but every race he gets up there, he gets all the bonus points he can. Sometimes he has the pole. He always leads a lap no matter what. He often leads the most laps, and several times has had the fastest lap. He has chipped away at this title simply by capitalizing on every opportunity.
Absolutely. You got that right for sure. Let's go back to that second pack. As you see Wetton start to go up high and start to fade just a little bit. Oh, trouble the 95! Up in the wall of Jillian, everyone comes down. Wow, I don't know how nobody wrecked there. Nice save from Jillian.
Oh my goodness. Jillian deserves some sort of award because that car was practically pointed at the wall. And he slips by, and do you see who snuck by in the midst of that mess?
Albie.
No, Albie too, but Ryan Seams snuck by several of the cars.
Oh, big jack up, hang on, Rodney. Oh, they're up in the 25's way.
Oh, they're going to
wow.
be... Oh, my God.
That was insane. What in the world happened to Chris Johnson? He's got a tire down.
Oh, that's going to... Oh, my goodness. There's a slow car in the middle of 3 and 4, and I think the 95 tapped him. Oh, yeah, by the way, in the process, Albie hit 20th and Ryan Seams hit 21st just by staying out of trouble.
By the way, for those wondering what happened, a bad block from Tyler McRae put the 25 hard up in the wall. Also involved was Sean Andrews, John Schwartz. Everyone kept the cars straight, luckily, so there was no need to throw a yellow flag.
Wow, that got, wow.
That was McRae, I think, the slower car you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, I think you were right. Tyler McRae now on pit road. I do believe he had some sort of damage to that car. I know the left side had problems. There you see he's getting left side tires on, already changed the rights, but man, that the guys behind him did an amazing job saving the cars because that could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely, you got that right. Let's go to Billy Snodgrass and Luke Turpin for 7th.
You know, while we're talking about that, watching Billy and Luke, we talked about it, you and I and Aaron talked about it during the pre-race. It's been talked about in Discord, it's been talked about on Facebook, but we have not mentioned it. The potential for the big one here at Nashville.
Turpin trying to get a run underneath. Let's see if he can get it. No, Snodgrass, better entry. Look at Mason Foster on the outside of Zach Edwards. I wonder what Danny's thinking about this.
And look out because Edmund Jones now up there in the fight. He gets the nose under Mason. Wow, that's Mason's having a great run up on the high side. One of the guys that's really making that high side work, but all of a sudden he just shoves up the track. I think he got a little too much side draft out of that. And this kind of track where grip is important, despite being in the draft, you get the side draft at the right time, it can propel you forward. You get it at the wrong time, it can cause the car to push and go up the track. And I think that's what we just saw with Mason.
Edmund gained by for 10th spot. Nice run for him there. Keeping you updated on the top 4. No change amongst there. Matt Bear is in 5th, leading the second pack. He's currently 4.4 seconds back on Robbie Keneally.
Kyle Bartle's right there with him in 6th. And here comes Snodgrass, Turpin, Zach Edwards, Edmund Jones, and Mason Foster, that second big group. I think these guys look like they're starting to line up and form a cohesive unit for a minute here, see if they can make something happen.
Want to go to another battle, 20th spot. Seams, Hewitt, and Schwartz, and it's getting tight off for 4 there. Baggett Doors checking up.
And the 55 gets a little bump draft from Schwartz down the front straightaway, but Seams has the nose ahead. Schwartz drops down to the bottom. He just drove it down there.
Just found the hole right in front of Wetton. Great move, and Schwartz may take it 3 wide. That's classic JB Smooth.
Oh, and if I'm Ryan Seams, I'm a bit worried right now. Now Schwartz is going to clear, barely. Seams pulls ahead for the moment, not stuck in the middle anymore. Man, these guys are battling like it's the battle for the win on the last lap, and they're doing this every lap. We mentioned the big one. I mean, it is a distinct possibility here tonight.
And we just had a change for the lead. Robbie Keneally going to the point. Austin Edwards now back to 2nd. Alex Gratz 3rd. Blake Wynn is 4th. I can tell you how he took the race lead away. Alex decided to go up on the high side. And then Blake decided to go up on the outside. that's what got Robbie Keneally it seems like that nobody wants to lead this race here, Doug.
You see that a lot at places like Daytona and Talladega. You get out there with a big car and you're up front, you're burning up extra fuel, punching that hole in the air, you're wearing your tires just a little bit more, and you don't have the same speed. These guys could crank it up in a heartbeat and go flying by them if they work together. Being up front is not the best place to be until that last couple laps.
Just had a change for eighth, as Zach Edwards gets past Billy Snodgrass. Keep in mind, we are just about 10 laps away or so from our second round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, things are going to get chaotic again. We saw guys drifting onto pit road, and I would expect nothing less once again here. Oh, by the way, Ryan Seams still holding on that top 20. These 5 cars keep swapping positions. Jonathan Schwartz, Joe Campbell, Ryan Seams, Albie Hewins, Stephen Wetton. This group just cannot stop fighting it out here. And I believe Schwartz just blinked.
And this is also allowing the pack that's led by Matt Pelletier and Stephen Rex to start closing in as well.
Art Hendren has crashed. Let's see what happened to him.
No caution. We're still under the green flag.
Off through 3 and 4. Gets a little push. Oh, he was headed to pit road and just a little too hot. Sends it around sideways. I'm surprised we didn't see that during that first round of green flag stops. We saw some close calls, especially with Matt Baer, but man.
Gonna put 100 laps up on the board this time. Robbie Keneally leads Austin Edwards, Alex Gratz, Blake Wynn, and Matt Baer. Stay with us. We'll go side by side.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
This picture's really funny. My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
Eight years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives.
Green flag pit stops underway here at Nashville. We have a couple of drivers in already. Sean Andrews, Kevin Church, Kyle Bartles, and Robert Colgan. Meanwhile, change for the lead. Austin Edwards gets down to the bottom. He's out front.
Yeah, it looked like Robbie Keneally probably in fuel saving mode at this point, just trying to extend another lap or two. He just pulls up and lets Austin drive on by. Austin brings Blake with him. And Alex Gratz lets Keneally slide back into third place. I think out of this group, Gratz has probably been doing the best as far as fuel mileage is concerned here. It'll be interesting to see how the night goes. And Derek Colson is out of the race. He's parked the car. He's not feeling well. Derek, get to feeling better, buddy.
Absolutely, man. That's for sure. Sorry to hear, buddy. I can tell you as well, Jonathan Bertrand's also out of the race, too. So, still waiting for the leaders to come on in as we wait. Let's see if we got any other side-by-side racing happening. And this time it's Schwartz and Campbell for 18th. This pack is still a rowdy pack.
I don't think these guys are going to slow down. If they stay together in this fight, you got Seams all the way down on the bottom. Guys, Schwartz goes way up the track. He backs out of it. Now it's Joe Campbell up there with Ryan Seams and Greg Holes in the fight. Albie Hewen's in this as well. Albie having another great run. The second half of this season, Albie has really started improving a lot and picking up positions along the way.
Oh, man, Stephen Wenlow loose off of turn 4. Not sure if he got a bumper off of Matt Pelletier, but we got a battle for second position. Blake Wynn goes back to 4th, and it's actually because the top 4 all coming in together. Oh, no! Alex Gratz! Wow!
Holy
crap! I thought he was going sideways and was going to have to miss it by an extra lap and end his night.
Luke Turpin goes to the lead for the first time tonight in the midst of that chaos, with Zach Edwards in second, Mason Foster in third. Do we see Mason try and stretch it here and try and make it a couple extra laps so he can get 5 points?
That is a good question. I'm not too sure, but Alex Gratz just made the save of the race that is keeping him in the race. We'll see how he merges in with the pack. He's probably going to merge in 4th after what we just witnessed there.
Man, that was, Austin was sideways. All 4 of them that hit pit road together were a little bit sideways, but Blake Wynn had it pretty under control. Keneally had it pretty under control. Austin, we know, likes to drift these cars, so he was a little out of shape, no biggie, but man, Alex had that thing way out of shape, headed for the grass, and somehow manages to yank that thing back straight before he gets to the commitment cone.
Next driver to come in is Billy Snodgrass. Now the big risk he's taking is he's coming in all by himself. How big of a con is that here in Nashville?
That I gotta question the wisdom of that move, unless he is planning on taking 2 tires and fuel, coming out with one of the groups already on pit road. That might put him in a bad position. He will not have any drafting help. His only hope is when he comes off pit road, somebody is there for him to connect with.
That big pack that was racing wild like I talked about in pit road, and somehow nobody had any issues coming in. Mason Foster's in, Brent Meckes, Steven Rex also coming on in. Jeff Edgar just made his way into pit road. So your top 2 drivers that are together, was just waiting on them, in addition to Jeremy Gilliat, Alex Krapser, and Ryan Seams. And I think Turpin just signaled he's coming in this time.
Ryan Seams out there. Oh, what the heck happened? Was he coming off pit road just now?
Yeah, he was. That was the blue cone off of turn 2.
Wow. Went to look. He was coming off pit road trying to get everything he could. Zach Edwards now has the race lead, and I believe this is the first time Zach has led tonight.
Actually, he was out in front.
Oh, that's right.
For about a lap or...
Yep, he got ahead of Austin briefly.
Yeah. Turpin almost went in way too hot coming into pit road while at it.
pit road entries have under green flag conditions have just been nuts. And here comes Zach giving up the race lead. He manages to make it look easy. Meanwhile, Keneally out front of the drivers that have come out already. He's going to have a little drafting help from the 960 here in a second. He might be able to pull up back into the lead with Austin in second, Gratz in third. You got to give it to Gratz, man. That save and not losing anything more than that is impressive.
And that would be a big lead. 1.5 seconds the advantage on Austin Edwards. That's pretty big right now at the moment. And they pitted on the same lap. Keneally just had a better entry and exit, I would have to assume, because
his pit stop
normally
was 0.2 of a second faster. He didn't play any pit strategy, that's for sure.
Yeah, so nothing pit strategy-wise. It was just better entry and exit.
Ryan Seams is back on pit road and has a long... Look at the time. It looks like he had a little bit of a long stop there.
May have had to serve a penalty. I'm not too sure, though.
I'm wondering if we thought he came off pit road, if maybe he just got bumped down to the apron there coming out of 2, because him going back to pit road's a bit of a shock.
Absolutely. Let's go to the second place battle as Edwards, Gratz, and Wynn look to work together to get back up to Robbie Keneally.
Yeah, all of them staying single file. Austin now 0.9 of a second back. They are closing quickly. Austin having Alex right there with him. The teammates working together. We talked about it earlier. That team is definitely one of the best at working together. They practice it week in and week out. They communicate really well. They've got a great leader out there in Austin Edwards, and man, it shows when they get hooked up.
Keneally decided to get out of the draft of the 960 of Ryan Seams. I'm sorry, Nicholas Seams rather. So that's interesting.
Now that more cars have gone a lap down, Nicholas Seams is actually starting to pick up some spots. He's up to 35th. Ryan Seams, after that pit stop, is now back in 33rd. But like I said earlier, man, he's been able to fight back. Both of the Seams boys have been able to fight back. Don't know if Nicholas, as many laps down as he is, can make his way back to the lead lap. But Ryan Seams and Gerald Poole both in position to get a wave around if when the caution comes out again.
Let's go to 9th position. Zach Edwards, Luke Turpin, Mason Foster, Jeff Edgar.
Interesting battle here. Colgan just ahead of him, but Bartles, Edwards, Turpin, Foster. Foster trying to close in from behind as well. There he is in that other group. And and we're starting to see these guys really mix it up. Again, there was not a lot of patience earlier, but seeing some of these groups get single file and other ones really just battling it out.
Alex Gratz and Blake Wynn got together while battling for 3rd position. Oh my, how they didn't wreck, I don't know.
Let's see if we can see a replay of that incident between the two of them. Blake Wynn looks low, coming down the back straightaway, trying to separate the teammates. We've seen this happen several times this season. Oh, Blake gets a little push. I think he might have clipped the apron. Comes up, and they both just 4-wheel drift up the track and save it. Nicholas seems wisely backing out of that one.
That was way too tight and allows Keneally and Edwards to open up a nice little gap here. We'll see what happens there.
Keneally and Edwards almost half a second on Gratz and Blake Wynn. Matt Baer is actually 1.4 seconds back with no drafting help and has been intermittently closing on that lead group. I got to wonder what Matt's got under the hood tonight, because, man, he is flying.
Absolutely. And he's closing in a little bit, inch by inch. 35.12 last time by. That time by 35.13. So Matt Bear, along with Edmund Jones, they are right now the two fastest cars on the racetrack.
Edmund's been up there battling, got some laps led, started on the front row. He's going to be one to watch later in this run. And the other thing we have to talk about is the fact that these guys are going to tighten back up as these green flag runs continue. We see them spread out a bit after the pit stops, but they quickly regain the group. And as they get bigger groups, they carry more speed. Robert Colgan and this much bigger group is just over a second behind Edmund. They'll catch him in a moment, and then he'll pull up, and then they'll catch Matt Bear, and they'll continue marching their way to the leaders.
And Gratz and Wynn back up there with the top two. See if any of them decides to make a move, and they do not.
I don't see Gratz making a move on Austin.
Absolutely, same. Not a lot of side-by-side racing I'm seeing here in our closest battles for position. I think everyone's just trying to be patient at the moment.
Well, we're almost to the halfway point. Everybody's settling into a rhythm here. They know they've got to make it a long way. 400 miles is a long way to go in these cars. They're getting tired, hot, sweaty, and they just need to catch their breath for a couple of laps here, and I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Absolutely. Still focused on the leaders. They're catching up to lap traffic. I want to say that's Adam Gillian, the 95 it is.
And as they catch up, why don't we hop in the XCAL blimp and watch this lead pack go around and look throughout the field as, man, look at this. You can tell by watching Austin Edwards and Alex Gratz, these cars are not planted anywhere on the track. They are going into the corner. They're always sliding. And it is, holy cow, Gratz, the 95 looked like he grabbed the wall a little bit, slowed down, and Gratz almost slid up into him.
Absolutely. Can tell you, by the way, Matt Bear has closed the gap to Blake Wynn in front. It's 2 seconds. Edmund Jones also trying to come in. However, the top four are the closest to each other at the moment when it comes to lap time. Kyle Bartles and Robert Colgan, the teammates, running 7th and 8th. I like this strategy. They're working together. They're just playing it safe than sorry, just like the Edwards boys. But how about Colgan? We have yet to talk about him in this race. I believe this is the first time he's in the top 10.
It definitely is, but he has been lurking outside the top 10 all night. He started in 11th. He was hanging around about that spot. Broke into the top 10 once or twice, up into 8th and 9th place, drifts back out, but now securely up in 7th and working with his teammate to make his way forward. What about the J&S cars? Mason Foster up 20 spots into 10th. And Zach Edwards just ahead of him. Those two work together really well, as we've seen in the past. Wow.
And you see Foster and Edwards working together to get by the lap car of Chris Johnson in the 25.
Yeah, that got a little close.
Absolutely. And you see as well Edwards start to fade up the racetrack, and Foster just shuts the door on Johnson.
Johnson, I don't believe, is on the lead lap.
Nope.
So he is trying, that's another big surprise this season. Chris Johnson was always in the fight last season. All last year, every race he was in, he was competed. He had a 3-race suspension earlier in the season. He was fast prior to that, but since his return, just has not had the same speed.
Go to 19th spot. Rodney German just made the pass on Sean Andrews for that. And a change for... Gee, that was the change. That was the latest change we just had.
Sean Patrick, and we haven't talked about Petey yet. He started in 25th. He's up into 17th right now, following Alex Krapser in 16th, also up 8 spots. Jim Johnson in the EHP 48, currently running in 15th, up 6 spots. And Billy Snodgrass has lost a lot of ground. He is now back into 14th.
And we just had a change for the race lead. Austin Edwards goes out to the points. Keneally wants to get some draft and wants to save a little bit of fuel. But the leaders are starting to save a little bit of fuel right now because Austin Edwards has closed in on some lap traffic. Kevin Church is one of them. Brad Ebley's the other.
And you know, you have to kind of pay attention. I made a note of this earlier. Austin will let another guy lead for 5 or 10 laps. Then he's going to go out there and lead for at least as many as the other guy led, if not double it, before he gives up that lead again. He'll sit back there and save fuel, but he is trying to make sure he leads the most laps here. And he's playing some great strategy on fuel saving as he starts to come around lap cars.
130 laps go up on the board. This gives us an opportunity to take a look at our first full field rundown of the evening. And our full field rundown is brought to you by Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists of the Upstate. Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists, the official wheel repair specialists of XCAL Racing. Their wheel repair services that cover not just the Upstate, but also the entirety of North America. No matter where you live, we have a location to repair or paint your alloy rims. From minor cosmetic damage to complete restoration, Alloy offers professional and affordable alloy rim repair. We can straighten and refinish wheels with the custom color of your choice. If your rims are beyond repair, we have access to the best quality OEM replacements. To learn more, check out awrswheelrepair.com. Austin Edwards, your points leader, currently leads at the moment. It's an EHP 1-2 race at the moment with Alex Gratz. Actually, I'm sorry, formerly an EHP 1-2. With Edwards leading, he's up 39 spots from the drop of the green flag. Remember, he had to go to the back for a penalty issued. And then you got Alex Gratz in second spot. That's a part of a brand new owner in her first race, set by Matika Denson. Then you've got in third position Blake Wynn, Robbie Keneally, who is up 38 spots, currently in fourth position. Got a driver all by himself. That is Matt Bear. The Mad Bear currently in fifth. He is up 22 from the drop of the green flag. In sixth position, he's had a nice night so far, Edmund Jones in the Black Sheep Racing, number 28. Seventh spot, currently Kyle Bartels in the 88, and his teammate and boss, Robert Colgan, in eighth position. They've been quiet throughout the night, but have been sneakily making their way up throughout the field. Zach Getters has been fading a lot throughout the race. He currently stands in ninth position. His teammate Mason Foster rides in 10th. Luke Turpin sits in the 11th position. And Jeff Edgar, who knows how to race these speedways with an open setup, rides in 12th. Mason Foster, by the way, while at it, up 20 positions. Then you've got Jeremy Joliet riding in the 13th position. In 14th spot is Billy Snodgrass, giving a nice push to the 22. Jimmy Johnson currently rides in 15th, working with Alex Krapser in the 29. And then behind them is PDJ Zeller, who's had a quiet night. He rides in the 17th position. John Patrick's had a tough night tonight. He is down 13 spots in the 18th position. Sean Andrews, even though he was involved in a wreck that did not bring the caution flag out, he is up 19 spots from the drop of the green flag in 19th position. And then Randy Jeremy currently runs in 20th spot. Doug?
Greg Hull's currently sitting in 21st. He has been up and down all night, currently back in 21st. Stephen Rex quietly running in 22nd. Joe Campbell, leader of J&S, currently sitting in 23rd, up 10 spots, but Super Speedway Racing, you don't count him out till the last lap. Stephen Wetton currently runs in 24th. He has ran much higher tonight. Expect to see him fight his way back. Jonathan Schwartz in 25th. John Friley currently runs in 26th. Albie Hewins in 27th. Brent Mekas currently runs in 28th. Jose Godino, a quiet night, in 29th. Kevin Church, involved in that first incident, currently runs in 30th. Adam Gilliott currently runs in 31st. And Gerald Thanos Poole in 32nd. Ryan Seams back in 33rd, trying to fight his way back. Matt Pelletier currently in 34th, and Nicholas Seams now in 35th. Brad Eblay currently 36th. Don Jordan a couple laps down in 37th. Chris Johnson really struggling tonight. He is in 38th, and the car is a bit torn up. Tyler McRae currently runs in 39th. Art Hendren out of the race in 40th. Jonathan Bergeron 41st, and Derek Colson 42nd.
Today's race is brought to you by the XCAL Racing web shop. Check out the official merchandise of XCAL Racing. Newest products include a 520-piece Whale PD jigsaw puzzle, an AirPods case, and a Whale PD bath mat, all on xcalracing.com/shop. SimRacer Hub is the official statistics provider of XCAL Racing. If you own or manage an iRacing league, let SimRacer Hub do all the work for you. Check them out at simracerhub.com. No superfans are part of XCAL Patreon, but if you want to be a superfan and get exclusive access to the Discord, make sure you check out the XCAL Racing Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search up XCAL Racing. Must be 18 or older to view the content. Victory Lane is brought to you by Fuel Factor X, the unique Fuel Factor X formula containing multiple ingredients, each designed for a specific purpose. It's like superfood for your engine. It's an all-in-one solution, prolongs engine life and reduces wear, increases fuel economy, reduces harmful emissions and pollutant, improves vehicle performance and horsepower, and more. Check them out online at mydailychoice.com/DeCarlo Buckeyes. Again, Fuel Factor X Victory Lane, presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating.
Austin Edwards continues to lead. Alex Gratz in second. Blake Wynn in third. The comments have gone quiet. Where are you guys? Start cheering for your favorite driver. Matt Bear currently in fifth. Keneally holding on to fourth, staying in that lead pack. Matt Bear trying to close the gap, but now has drifted 4 seconds back. Edmund Jones in sixth, trying to gain some ground. Zach Edwards seventh, and Mason Foster working together in eighth, with Luke Turpin and Jeff Edgar back there. Edgar having a really good night hanging out in the top 10.
Say as well, by the way, that Kyle Bartles and Robert Colgan have come down pit road. Matt Bear is also in pit road. So we're seeing green flag stops begin once again, but it seems like the stops are taking place a little earlier than usual.
About 33 laps in, so it looks like we've got some guys short pitting by about 5-6 laps here. Bit of a surprise to see it, but you know, you got to wonder what they have. You have to calculate the fuel mileage backwards without factoring into caution laps. You just got to assume it's going to stay green and hope for the best. They might be calculating backwards, trying to figure out where they can stop, when they can do their runs, and how they can stretch it to the max. We did hear, again, we heard him say, this could come down to a fuel mileage race if it stays green.
Change for the race lead. Alex Gratz gets past Austin Edwards, and Edwards just finds a hole in line to get in front of Blake Wynn and slam the door on him to prevent him from taking second spot. That was a bold move from Austin.
Yeah, Austin obviously letting Alex get by and lead some laps here, saving some fuel. This team just working really, really well together here tonight.
Working on some lap traffic in Don Jordan. Let's find another good battle on track. Alex Crapster, Jimmy Johnson. That's for 12th, and we just had a change for 18th as got a couple of slow cars, I believe. Joe Campbell went off the racetrack off of turn 2. I think he had contact. And there was a... Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Oh, Schwartz just gets the back bumper, and man, you got to hand it to Campbell. He did an epic save there. Let's see if, obviously, they're running nose to tail all the way around this track, and yeah, Schwartz just gets up underneath of him. Joe was already a bit loose, and Schwartz just sent him the rest of the way around.
Absolutely. So we got other drivers coming on in. Edmund Jones takes the 28 car into pit road.
Hey, you know what? Interesting tidbit of information. Do you know what next month is, Marty?
Next month?
Next month.
Well, I got another question. I'll counter-right. Do you remember the 21st night of September?
No.
If that answers your question?
No.
Well, next month is September, so...
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
Never mind.
Okay. I'm old. Leave me alone.
Change for the lead. Never mind. Go ahead.
Next month will be the second birthday of How to Suck at iRacing.
That's awesome as the leaders make their way on into pit road.
And that was the cleanest entry to pit road we have seen out of that group tonight.
Nice.
Good job, boys.
Good. You get a sticker from me for that, an XCAL sticker. So Zach Edwards taking the race lead. Him, Foster, Turpin, and Edgar, they're all working together until at least one of them decides to come and bring it into pit road.
Chris, try refreshing your screen, buddy. I'm watching on all three platforms and not seeing it. Yep, so we'll be 2 years old next month. I'm not sure. I just realized it today, and I'm not sure we'll have to do something to celebrate, but I don't know what it will be.
Do a special race.
Yeah, I might.
Billy Snodgrass, by the way, is in. A lot of drivers in the pit road. Greg Holes, Blake Quinn, Alex Gratz, Austin Edwards, Robbie Keneally, Adam Gilliette, all in. So let's see if we get anyone amongst the leaders that bring it to pit road.
And as we've mentioned, man, there's been so many close calls going to pit road tonight that we could see a caution. And I can tell you, it looks like when they're coming to pit road, even though they're sideways, they're going to save it and they'll stay in the infield. I can promise you with 100% certainty, if somebody completely loses it going to pit road, they will come across the grass up onto the front straightaway. It can cause some chaos here. I've seen it happen in past races. So nothing is set in stone. Even if they are on pit road and spin, they could still end up in the racing groove and cause the big one. Boy, wouldn't that be catastrophic to see a guy coming to pit road, slide up and cause the big one? There's a big pack here behind Zach Edwards. If somebody slid up right there, that could spell disaster.
It could, absolutely. And so it's the top four work together. We have yet to see the top 11 drivers in the pit road yet. You'll likely see them under this break. We'll go side by side as we've reached the halfway point at the Music City.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection. And now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
This picture's really funny. My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
Eight years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives.
Past the halfway point here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Marty XCAL alongside Doug Burns with you on the call. Robbie Keneally, Alex Gratz, Austin Evers, Blake Wynn continue to be the lead pack. That is your top four. Excuse me, as Luke Turpin exits pit road from the race lead. Matt Bear, Robert Colgan, Edmund Jones, Zach Edwards, Jeff Edgar round out the top 10. Let's get you a good battle on the racetrack, and that is John Schwartz and John Frawley, the good friends and teammates for 18th.
Yeah, these two have been nose to tail. I don't think we're going to see a whole heck of a lot of battle here. I think Schwartz and Frawley are just going to work together to get themselves back up into this group. Petey's about a second ahead, so they're hoping Petey's got help from Jim Johnson, so they're hoping they can work up. They collect those two, then they take off and collect Crapser and Gilliatt, and just keep marching their way forward. Billy Snodgrass is starting to make a bit of a comeback now. He is now back up in 13th, looking to get his way back into the top 10 here. And Mason Foster in 11th place, up 19 spots so far.
Something very interesting as well. Kyle Bartles and Robert Colgan have actually been picking up places on their interesting short pitting strategy. They are short pitting by nearly 10 laps or so before the leaders come in. It's worked out really well. Kyle Bartles is up to 5th position, working with Matt Bear. He's actually opened up a 4.7 second advantage as he has lost Robert Colgan. So this could be interesting. If Kyle Bartles can keep on short pitting, could catch the top 4. All depends on the draft that he could get, though. That's the big thing.
The one thing, as we talked about early on, is this track is concrete. It is abrasive. It eats the tires alive. And you got to balance that tire wear, but if you're hitting 10 laps shorter than everybody, you can push that little bit harder every single lap and make up a little bit of ground that you lose. The only downfall is if they have to make that one extra pit stop, that could end up biting them. So they've got to be very, very careful on the short pit strategy.
Boy, did you see all the lap traffic the leaders were just dealing with right there? Ryan Seams, Stephen Wetton, Greg Holes. Look at that. That is some crazy racing.
That is a mess. It's giving Kyle Bartles an opportunity to gain a little bit of ground. Holy cow. Bartles right on the back bumper of a lap car as he tries to close in that gap on this lead pack as they negotiate lap traffic. It looks like they're almost through it. They got Don Jordan still ahead, but man.
That may be the tightest I've seen the leaders in lap traffic today.
Yeah, they have been tending to spread out, but at this point in the race, past the halfway point, they can't allow any one of those 4 to get away. They could lose the draft, and they could lose the opportunity.
Here's a run to the inside for Austin Edwards because of the lap traffic. Let's see if he decides to maybe back out of it. Nope, he's going for it. And Keneally goes on the outside. Austin Edwards takes the race lead back.
Blake Wynn's going to follow him through, too. He's going to go to second. And I think Keneally's been watching what Austin doing. Great guy to sit and watch and learn from. He has managed to lead some laps, but he drops back in line intentionally and sits back there and saves fuel, tries to extend the run.
Whoa! Gratz loose off at 2. Meanwhile, if you want to see some other crazy racing, let's go inside the top 10. Robert Colgan, Zach Edwards, Edmund Jones, Jeff Edgar, Mason Foster, they're getting down with it into turn 3.
Yes, they are. They are all mixed up side by side, and they are really starting to crank it up. Still a little bit early to be fighting this hard, but they don't care. They've been fighting since the first lap. Really impressed by Jeff Edgar tonight, hanging on to the top 10 all night long. He's been up at the front, but I don't think we have seen him, other than pit stops, outside the top 10 tonight.
Doug, that just gave me a good idea what you just said there.
Okay.
Why don't we shut up and let the listeners listen to the horsepower out there on the track? Why don't we crank it up here at Nashville? 163 laps to complete. Let's go back and watch the battle for 8th position. Mason Foster and Jeff Edgar. Count Zach Edwards in there if you want to put 7th on the line too.
Yeah, definitely. And was it just me or was Zach, I think that might have been the first time I've seen a car get loose on entry. Looked like he just got slightly offline in that back end trying to come around. I think Zach has really been struggling with the handling on that car all night. After starting on the front row, he is starting to make his way back up. But man, he had drifted as far back as 15th earlier in the race, but the car appears to be coming to him.
Got Edmund Jones, Robert Colgan behind in the battle for 8th position. By the way, speaking of Colgan, up down his driver Kyle Bartles, who is 2.4 seconds behind Alex Gratz, still trying to close in on the leaders.
Got a little bit of drafting help from a lap car here. They're working together really, really well. Oh, I'm sorry, that is Matt Bear he's working with right behind Kyle Bartles. So these two working together quite well, trying to close that gap on Gratz. And Gratz is, look at this. The leaders are back in lap traffic, and Gratz takes advantage, moves up to 3rd.
They're working on, I think that's Gerald Poole and Sean Andrews.
And you notice this pack is starting to pick up these lap cars. They're hopping to the back of it and just going for a ride around here, seeing if they can make up some spots while they're in the draft. Ryan Seams, Gerald Poole, Matt Pelletier all trying to get hooked onto this lead group as we've got one of them coming to pit road.
John Andrews.
That got a little dicey as he came to pit road.
Absolutely, it did. Going back onto that second big pack, Jeff Edgar against Mason Foster for 8th.
Mason Foster, Jeff Edgar still side by side.
And Foster gets the clear.
And Edmund Jones now right on the tail end of this pack. He was up front earlier on.
And you got the 63, Joe Campbell, lap car currently 25th, dealing with that. Foster, meanwhile, trying to get a run on Zach Edwards. And almost got way too tight.
Yeah, they are definitely sending it every single lap, trying to make something happen. A little bit of a surprise that they're going at it this hard this early, but like I said, we've seen the guys at the back fighting it out since the drop of the green, so not completely surprised by it, but they've got to be careful not to get involved in a wreck. There's a lot of cars in that group.
Absolutely, there is. Double file entering turn number 1. Again, you are not seeing, if you've just joined us, you're not seeing your top 6 in there. Austin Edwards, Blake Wynn, Alex Gratz, Robbie Keneally, Kyle Bartles, Matt Burr. They've all pulled away from it. This is the Peloton pack, as I like to call it. And this is a big, aggressive pack as well.
Yeah, everybody's going for it full throttle right now, so everybody trying to get anything they can. They'll still have a couple more pit stops before it's all said and done, but guys are trying to get all they can get right now.
Let's go back to Kyle and Matt. They continue to just work together with each other so they can pick up some ground. And Matt Bear is a guy who always wants to move his way forward. If there's a pack race, he gets mad if there's drivers in his pack, not the lead pack, that are battling for position. He wants them to stay in a draft line and just to move closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, they continue. Matt is a very aggressive driver regardless of what he's in. We broadcast him on Sunday mornings in the GT3 League, and man, he's had some of the craziest moves of the season.
And Kyle, I believe, signaling he's coming into pit road this time. He is.
Alone, that's a surprise.
Yeah, remember, him and Colgan are on the short pitting strategy, which will be very tough to do.
Will Colgan come in this time to give him a hand is the question. Have not seen him drop into pit road yet. No, Robert Colgan was on pit road first.
Remember, they were away from each other on the track, so Colgan decided to pit first, followed by Kyle Bartles.
Austin Blake, Robbie Keneally, and Alex Gratz still nose to tail around the track. Gratz has backed off a little bit, trying to close back up, and Keneally's going.
Yes, we got a wreck, by the way, in turn number 1. That is the 15 of Stephen Way, and see if that brings a caution flag out. As of right now, caution.
There it is.
Ryan on deck, he came down. We have more guys sideways. That was Godino and Hewins.
Let's see what the heck happened to bring out, I believe, only the third caution of the night.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if it was a battle for position, but Ryan
Seams and Wetton get together. These two have been racing each other all night long. Just ran out of track, and I do believe Albie Hewins is one of the drivers. Oh, that was not a great move on Stephen Wetton's part. That big group coming behind, he moves down the track. Albie Hewins.
Thought he was good.
Yeah, he thought he was clear. Albie Hewins goes all the way through the apron, as does Jose Godino.
So 175 laps will go up on the board this time, and everybody coming into pit road once again.
Top 5 come in, and safely this time because they're under caution, but
what we're looking at here, I want to say, for the rest of this race is a 3-stop race.
see, lap 175, so working backwards from 300, they could stop around 160, 120. Yeah, they're going to need a little fuel saving in here, and it's going to be close, but it could be a 3-stop race from here.
See who wins the race off pit road.
The car's one or more laps down, looking to see who's going to get waved around. I believe it'll be Greg Olds, Joe Campbell, and Brett Meckes.
There will be drivers that are that are a lap down at least, because we had a lot of drivers go a lap down on that long run. Race off pit road goes to Luke Turpin this time. He did a 33-second stop over Zach Edwards, who did 39, then beats Mason Foster. Robbie Keneally, Austin Evers, Blake Wen, Alex Gratz go to 7th. 8th, Jeff Fegger. 9th, Jeremy Gilliatt. 10th, Edmund Jones. And I gotta say, I like this strategy by your top 3.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, but these guys definitely getting back out off pit road very, very quickly. And Turpin, Edwards, and Mason Foster now have a better shot at it. They've got the better track position.
So while we are under caution, waiting for the update here from race control, just keep you posted here on stuff. Let's say, so we got a double EOL plus. Get that in a moment here. Steven's rooting for Seams. Seeing who else here. And I think that's the only update we got here in chat. Let us know who you're rooting for, and be sure to give you a shout out on the air. So Ryan Seams and Stephen Wetton get EOL penalties, but then I believe for Wetton he will get a black flag for not keeping his foot on the brake. Let's get the word. Let's hear from Hillebush. He'll explain that before we get the waves. This will be along yellow because we got to get the wave arounds back around the racetrack. Waves, by the way, Matt Pelletier, Joe Campbell, Jose Gaudino. So definitely good for Joe Campbell after getting taken off the track, off the bumper of John Schwartz. So listening. The initial contact was a racing deal. The black was because he did not remove the car from the speedway in a timely manner. That was the situation why. So while we are at it, so Doug, are you good?
Yeah, I'm working through what the heck is going on here.
All right. Because I was gonna ask you what your thoughts were on the top three taking 5 less seconds of fuel.
You know, they know what their pit strategy has to be here, and I think it's a calculated risk at this point. They're going to try and see if maybe they'll get lucky. I mean, there's the old adage, cautions breed cautions, and if they get just a few caution laps here, we may very well end up with a situation where they can stretch that fuel.
Lights are off as we get set to go to the green flag. And we will reset the field for you here. It is Luke Turpin, Zach Edwards, row 1. Turpin selects the inside line. Row 2 is Mason Foster and Robbie Keneally. Row 3, Austin Edwards and Blake Gwynn. Row 4, Alex Gratz and Jeff Edgar. And row 5, Jeremy Gilliatt and Edmund Jones.
Lights are out on the pace car.
Again, we are going green this time by. We'll put 179 laps up on the board. So we're ready to come back to the green flag. First time Luke Turpin's been out in front in a non-green flag pit stop strategy. So he'll bring the field back to the green flag. Looking, back to green.
You know, we've seen everybody take off as soon as they legally could on the restarts. Smart move by Turpin, holding them off, making everybody wait, keeps them off guard.
I like it for sure as well. Edwards fades. Remember the low side, the inside row, you want to be there on the restarts. The outside just doesn't have nothing, but look at Mason Foster. Wants to get help from Zach Edwards. Goes to the outside, looking for the race lead and return number 3.
Zach could not get up there to help his teammate. Now he's got the opportunity, hasn't got the momentum, and here comes Foster on the high side. Can he hold Turpin off?
Yes, he can. What a pass and what a clear for Mason Foster. On the outside on a restart. We've yet to see that today. I want to say that's Foster's first lap led today. That gives him 5 bonus points. Blake Wynn around the outside looking for third on Zach Edwards.
You know, we talked about the track changing as it cools off and the sun goes down, the lights come up, and it looks like that high line is really starting to have some grip and some speed now.
And now Wynn wants second on Turpin. He got a little bit of a toe off of Mason Foster when he went up to the outside. Double wide behind them, looking like a pack. You see John Schwartz on the apron trying to make it a 3-wide battle.
Guys just fighting for everything they can on restarts. Jeff Edgar currently back in 10th, and side by side everywhere back behind as most of the top 10 has settled in. Austin Edwards back in 7th, trying to fight his way back up to the lead.
See if Wynn can clear on Turpin. And he can, just barely. Ooh, Turpin still has a run just after they get through the tri-oval. Now he can clear entering 1. Nice move there. Behind them, you've got Jeremy Gilliatt, Jeff Edgar side by side for 9th.
Jeff Edgar in that mix. Billy Snodgrass also in that mix. Billy had some problems earlier, went way toward the back, and is now back up here battling with Austin Edwards, while Edgar and Gilliatt battle it out side by side for ninth.
Wynn giving a lot of bump drafts to Mason Foster entering turn number 3 that time. They're trying to pull away, I think, from Luke Turpin here. Going back to the Jeremy Gilliatt, Jeff Edgar battle. Also got Matt Bear, Edmund Jones in it as well. I think we just had a change for another position. I think it was Keneally getting past Gretz. Nope, my mistake, false alarm. And Blake Wynn got Mason Foster a little loose off at turn number 4, but doesn't go for the slingshot. I think Blake's being patient.
Yeah, that's the Blake of old. We've seen a very aggressive Blake this season, but last season we saw a lot of patience, a lot of smart driving. I think that's what we're seeing here again tonight, as Foster just keeps it down on the bottom, leaves that high line open.
Go. I think he's letting him go here for the race lead, so Foster can get a little bit of a draft and see what he can do with Blake Wynn out in front. Big stack up from behind with Turpin, Zach Edwards, Billy Snodgrass, Robbie Keneally and company. See if any drivers make a peek to the inside. Gerald Poole has brought the car into pit road, by the way, for those wondering. Look how loose Zach Edwards is off the corner. Man, I don't know how he got sideways, but it just lost a lot of time there.
Yeah, Zach is really struggling here.
Currently in 4th position, and it's now 1.2 seconds behind on Blake Wynn. Matt Bear and Edmund Jones going at it. That's for 11th on the racetrack. Oh boy, that's Jeremy who shut the door on Matt Bear, and I don't think Bear liked that block at all.
Bear does not like that kind of thing happening to him, and I would fully expect to see, if it comes down to the end, Matt doesn't forget. I would expect to see a little bump and run possibly.
Here comes Keneally inside on Snodgrass. 4th position is his. Oh, Snodgrass gets sideways. There was contact.
Whoa.
He scrapes the wall just a little bit. That was close.
But
Off
wow,
to 17, I think.
what a save by Gratz.
Oh, look at that. Shallow entry into 1 from Matt Bear. Big send and makes that work to take 10th.
Matt Bear is just charging now. He is on a mission.
Edwards and Snodgrass touch doors. And Austin's up to 6. Snodgrass shuts the door on Zach. Meanwhile, top 3, you can put them under a blanket. Blake Wynn, Mason Foster, Luke Turpin. Remember, Foster and Turpin are a different strategy. Foster tried low, and Wynn shuts the door on him.
Blake Wynn still holds the lead for the moment, trying to see if he can get back to victory lane tonight. Just over 100 laps left to go, a couple more pit stops to go as well. So strategy really playing into how they run the last part of this race. Keneally kind of out in no man's land right now. No help from behind, no help from ahead. He's going to get swallowed up here in a minute.
You're right, he's currently stuck in a neutral pace at the moment. But however, though, that last time by did run faster laps than the 3 drivers in front of him.
Pretty impressive. He's keeping that gap under 1 second, but Gratz is closing in. He's almost to him. So Keneally's got to keep his foot down when they get here if he wants to hold that position. Otherwise, he stands to lose at least 2 spots, maybe more, if Gratz and Edwards are able to get underneath him.
And the teammates, you just said it, closing in on the 3 car. Oh, we got one up in the wall, I think. Yeah, big trouble there for the 63 of Joe Campbell. Up in the wall, he looks to be okay. I think there was some contact as Robert Colgan completely came up on him.
Wow, there's still a little excitement going on behind him.
Actually, it was Mackes that came up on Colgan, who came up on Campbell.
See if we have a replay, as Bartles was in this fight as well.
Now this pack has started to... Yeah, go ahead.
I was watching, there went Joe Campbell up to the high side, trying to see if there was contact. It looks like the 94 moved up the track right in front of Joe as they went into turn one and kind of pushed him up. Joe ends up in the wall.
But was there any contact with Mekas and Colgan?
That I did not see.
Okay.
And
So, we continue on. We got a battle for third between Turpin and Keneally. So you talked about... So Turpin has faded back, actually, and Keneally takes the spot away. I'm interested in that strategy from Turpin, but Gratz gives him the bumper. Gratz gives him 2 bumpers. Turpin is loose. Up the racetrack. Gratz tries to move him. Wow. And Gratz could even make the pass, and I think there's a virtual number 1 out the window of Luke Turpin's car.
Definitely so. That was a bit chaotic there, and I think Gratz may have backed out of it just to let him get it, because Turpin was way out of shape, and had he kept pushing the issue, they would have both got collected on that. Even Gratz ended up sideways in that mess.
Now, what are you thinking if you're Alex Gratz? Because you know Luke Turpin is going to race him as hard as possible.
Definitely so. Danny not happy about Joe getting pushed up into the wall, getting wrecked again, and you know, it's a rough night for Joe. He started the season really strong, but these last few races has really been caught up in just about everything. It is a bit heartbreaking considering how his season started.
Absolutely. See if Edwards takes a run to the inside of Gratz for 5th position.
That's a shocker. I was not expecting to see. This must be maybe Austin's better leading than Gratz is. They swap spots.
I think the situation is if you can't pass them, I'm gonna pass them for you.
Could very well be. Gratz will slide back down, and now Austin's gonna take a shot at Luke Turpin.
Meanwhile, Robbie Keneally in 3rd has closed in on Mason Foster and Blake Wynn. Remember, Foster trying to save some fuel and outthink Blake Wynn here. And if you listen on board closely, you can hear him in the corners just lifting off the gas. Here he goes. Foster inside. Blake Wynn knew what he was doing. I think he's listening to the broadcast. And tucks back in line for 2nd. So Foster is out in front again.
Great job by Mason getting up there trying to get some more laps led here tonight. Keneally now lurking in 3rd, Turpin in 4th, Austin in 5th, now in front, and Jeff Edgar lurking behind the EHP, or I'm sorry, I forgot what the new team name is, but Edgar is back there on the back bumper.
So Turpin up to 3rd once again. And now your top 7 all nose to tail, and this could get interesting. And it could get really interesting because Edgar gets Gratz loose. Everyone washes up the track.
Wow, what a save by Gratz. Edgar backs out a little bit, gives him the position, and here comes Matt Bear. He's going to take advantage.
The Mad Bear wants some spots. Edmund Jones wants a spot. There's contact with Edgar there.
It's getting a little bit rough. We still got 100 laps to go, boys. They got to last to the end.
And so Mason Foster almost had a big gap open.
Mason's
the
still
run
in the
for
lead.
Turpin. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Mason's still in the lead, but Turpin is got a run coming.
Foster at the line, but Turpin's got to run underneath. And Superman goes back out to the point. Double wide off of turn number 2. Keneally's up to second. Many drivers fan to the bottom. Here's a run inside. Alex Gratz, can he get there? Slide job, that's too much. Hard into the outside wall goes the 17. His night comes to an end. Wow, one of the contenders to win is out of it.
What a
That was
heartbreak.
all guts, but no glory from Alex Gratz.
Let's take another look at that from the Flaming Karma replay as Alex Gratz coming through 3 and 4. He's got a massive, massive run and tried to sneak up, but Mason wasn't given an inch there. And Gratz ends up hard in the outside wall. That also leaves Austin Edwards without help.
The fact that nobody else was involved in that wreck is unbelievable. It really is. Meanwhile, Turpin continues to lead. Austin Edwards up to second. I feel like we've heard that story before a million times, and it's awesome to see. We haven't seen that story in a while. Under 100 laps to go here. We're going to step aside and go to break if trouble breaks out. We'll break in here at Nashville. Stay with us.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and eNASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
Probably the most intense racing we have seen here tonight, and for the first time in this race, Billy Snodgrass is at the point with under 95 laps to go. Snodgrass leads, Turpin second, Austin Edwards third, Jeff Edgar fourth, and Blake Wynn is fifth, Doug.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, even with them drafting behind, Snodgrass is pulling away from this, part of it being side by side, Edgar and Turpin. Austin Edwards and Blake Wynn, but man, Billy has got a piece tonight.
Keep in mind, green flag stops around the corner. Everyone pit on lap 175. We are working lap 209, so just about maybe 3 to 5 laps away from stops. Turpin and Edgar going for a second. Remember, Edgar's got a friend behind him in Blake Wynn, so this is good to see.
Yeah, could we see Edgar back in victory? I don't remember the last time Jeff won. Well, that would explain it. Jeff could get his first victory here tonight in XCAL competition. Man, it is getting messy mid-pack.
Let's take a look at that mid-pack, too, as looks like they've dropped it down to some single-file racing. They're actually playing it safe. They're a little bit of a choo-choo train here at the moment, just being safe than sorry, because they know there's a lot of racing left. Coming to 90 laps to go this time by, and we've got half the field, 21 drivers on the lead lap.
Rodney German, who we saw back in the 20s not too long ago, now back up in the top 10 in 9th, following Matt Bear in 8th as Matt tries to battle with Mason Foster.
Yeah, that yellow flag absolutely helped him out for sure. Here comes Turpin underneath for the race lead.
It took him a while to finally catch back up to Billy, but they've got there. And
Ooh.
Luke Turpin has no help. And now
look at Jeff! 3 wide as Edgar tries to thread the needle. Snodgrass, I think, caught the wall. This is tight in 3 and 4.
Off turn 4, there's still 3 wide. Snodgrass not giving an inch. Blake Wynn comes to the assist, and at the line,
Edgar, and they were going down to the 10,000th marker at the line. So Jeff Edgar leads his first lap today and gets 5 bonus points. Oh, he loves to see that.
definitely does. He is having a great night. Now Luke Turpin looks back to the inside for the lead.
See if he can get it at the line here. I think he did, and he did. Gap of the line that time with 6,000ths of a second.
This race, we've talked about it coming down to fuel mileage and strategy and everything else. It could come down to a finish like this.
This is very impressive, by the way. We are about to hit 40 laps on fuel, which I think is the longest we've seen anyone go tonight. Robert Colgan, though, in pit road. I think we've got a game of chicken. We got guys. Oh, no! The 062 of Snodgrass gets punted. He was trying to come into pit road, and German caught him. Oh, that's a heartbreak for Billy. I don't get a penalty for unsafe entry.
He gets down. Everybody else moves up, but German just stuck on the bottom. And he does not make it to the commitment cone.
Actually, how that started, I don't know if he was planning on coming in or what. I'm looking here. He was going normal speed. Yeah, you know, he may have been. Because that was a big gap that Austin Edwards was closing in when you think of it.
Yeah, I think Rodney was ready for his pit, or I'm sorry. Billy was ready for that pit stop, but I don't think he wanted to get it quite that way.
Meanwhile, off of 2. 10th and a half between Luke and Jeff. And we got Blake Wynn going under the apron. That's legal, by the way, here. Keep that in mind. Austin Edwards looks for 3rd. And John Schwartz is up here as well, looking for 3rd.
Where did
comes in the
Schwartz
pit.
come
Edgar
from?
with a big send. I'm asking the same thing. Oh, my goodness. This man has been involved in 2 wrecks tonight, maybe 3, and he's running in P2. That's amazing.
Great job by all the drivers here tonight, but man, that... Oh, and Schwartz is dropping down the apron. Is he coming to pit road?
Yep.
Or?
He's coming in this time. But my goodness, how far he is charged up through the pack. That's impressive.
Schwartz is on pit road. Turpin, Edwards, several of them still out on track, trying to stretch to the absolute limit here. How far can they go?
That is a good question. Still waiting for the top 5 to come in, and here come the top 2.
Whoa, that gets a little close.
Yeah. So Alex Krapser, for the first time today, goes out to the point. So the top 3 now have yet to come in. Zach Edwards second, with Jeremy Gilliat in third. First guy that is good is PDJ Zeller, and wow, this could get interesting, because looking at how everyone's doing, if everyone pits right now, this could be a fuel mileage race to the end. That was the longest stint we've seen anyone go. That was a total of 40 laps on fuel. They're coming probably around lap 255 next time by, and then that's 45 laps. This is going to be interesting to see who can make it on fuel to the end, and see if we can play a game of chicken. You look at Zach Edwards as he's still out there on the track. What he's trying to do, I think he's trying to clutch right now and get to lap 220. Yep, that's what he's doing. Listen on board. And try and make it a one-stop race so he can go the distance.
No, he's coming in.
I like that. I like that. That's a great move from Zach. Great move. Absolutely.
PDJ Zeller may claim the lead here for the first time tonight. He's going to come around one more time. Zach Edwards still on pit road. Jeremy Gilliat, Alex Krapser are also on pit road.
I like that move as well. Actually, Gilliat and Krapser both came in, I think, lap 219. So I like how Zach Edwards is thinking. He's thinking long-term ahead.
Just a quick update. We're aware of the issues working with the streaming company, the internet company, trying to find out where the issue lies. Several people looking into it while we're trying to get it fixed.
Luckily, though, this will be on demand on YouTube at How to Suck at iRacing. Oh, my goodness! We just had a retirement from Jeff Edgar. He is lagged out. Oh, my goodness. His connection dropped due to upload packet loss. Oh, my goodness.
After such an epic race.
That's a shame. The glass slipper will not fit for Jeff today. Now we move up to the front of the field. It is PDJ Zeller out in the race lead, who did a 47-second stop. I bet you he's banking on a caution flag here.
He's got to be, to try and make this work. That's the only way this is going to work, is for him to get a caution flag and be able to kind of coast around for a few laps.
We got some wild racing. They'll look at Blake Wynn, look at John Schwartz. We're 3 wide in turns 1 and 2. Cornelia a part of this as well. I like that John Schwartz really has stepped up to the occasion with Jeff Edgar dropping out, because we didn't think Schwartz was going to have a chance at winning this race. Look at him now. I think he's been pulling a strategy where he's been conservative in the first 2/3 of the race, and now up here for the final hundo.
And, you know, he's doing the Jonathan Schwartz of old. Don't talk about him in the first half. Here he comes in the second.
Luke Turpin, Blake Wynn for 5th. While we're at it, by the way, actually, because we have under 80 laps to go, this gives us an opportunity to take a look at a full field rundown brought to you by Alloy Wheel Repair Services of the Upstate. Just confirming here. Nationwide wheel repair service, no matter where you live. We have a location to repair or paint your alloy rims. From minor cosmetic damage to complete restoration, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists offer professional and affordable alloy rim repair. We can straighten and refinish wheels with a custom color of your choice. If your rims are beyond repair, we have access to the best quality OEM replacements. Doug, top 20.
PDJ Zeller in the lead for the first time tonight, followed by Kyle Bartles, who is also having a great run here tonight. Jose Godino out of nowhere up in third. Jonathan Schwartz in a hard-fought battle for fourth, with Blake Wynn currently in fifth. Luke Turpin in sixth. Matt Bear in seventh right now. Stephen Rex currently running in eighth. Rodney German has had a wild night, still holding on to ninth. And the points leader, Austin Edwards, back in 10th. Robbie Keneally having another epic run tonight in 11th. Edmund Jones, one of his best runs of the season, currently in 12th. Matt Pelletier back in 13th. Jim Johnson also having a great run tonight. He is currently in 14th. Alex Krapser in 15th. Sean Patrick currently runs 16th, and Albie Hewins in 17th. John Friley currently running in 18th. Jeremy Gillett in 9th, and Zach Edwards rounding out 20th.
Greg Holtz, the last car on the lead lap. Actually, he's the first car scored a lap down in 21st. Robert Colgan 22nd, Brent Meckes 23rd. Those will be the first drivers to get the wave around if a caution were to come out at this moment. Excuse me, Mason Foster, who has been having a great race so far, in 24th. I believe he had to serve a penalty a couple moments ago. Billy Snodgrass in 25th. Tough situation after he got spun out when coming into pit road off of Rodney German. Ryan Seams currently in 26th position. Sean Andrews 27th. Kevin Church 28th. Nicholas Seams 29th. And Brad Ebley is 30th. Stephen Wetton 31st. Gerald Thanos Poole 32nd. Don Jordan 33rd. Jeff Edgar back on the racetrack in 34th after his connection dropped. Joe Campbell is 35th. Alex Gratz out of the race in 36th after going into the outside wall, trying to slide job Mason Foster. Chris Johnson on track in 37th. Tyler McRae staying for him in 38th. Adam Gilliatt, Art Hendren, Jonathan Bergeron, and Derek Colson all out of the race from 39th to 42nd. Good battle on track for 8th position. Ronnie German passed Stephen Rex. And how about the recovery for Stephen as well tonight? He was a part of the first caution, got spun out, got back straight after John Schwartz stored him, didn't give him a lot of damage. The aero's still perfect on that car. He could have a chance at winning this race tonight.
Yeah, there's been some serious surprises out in the field tonight. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. That threat of a caution still looming as Luke Turpin and his pack are starting to close in on Blake Wynn and Jonathan Schwartz.
See what happens there. They're separated by about 5 car lengths or so. Meanwhile, top 3 up by 4.8 seconds on 4th place Schwartz. And we haven't talked about yet the guy that's in 3rd spot. Jose Godino. This guy always finds a way in the race to be near the front at these super speedways, especially late in the go. You know what they say, Doug, if you're in it, you can win it.
Yeah, and he is definitely in it. He's had some rough patches here lately, but we're used to seeing Jose up in the battle for the win, and looks like he might be in the fight once again tonight.
This would be one of the biggest upset stories of this season if he could get it done tonight. Let's go to the closest battle on track, and that is the 4th place battle, but probably not going to be a battle. It's the teammates John Schwartz, Blake Wynn, working on each other, but Luke Turpin trying to close in. It's a half second. An interesting strategy. They're trying to break the draft here, I think. But no, actually, that's Ronnie German going past Luke Turpin all the way down to the basement, and German back up to 6th.
German, just nothing slowing him down. Every time he's been caught in something, held up, dropped back, whatever the case may be, he has kept fighting back here tonight. Not giving an inch, and it is far from over for Rodney.
Now we go to get back to 4th as they continue to work on each other. See if we got any other good battles. Let's go to the back markers. Mason Foster trying to in 22nd on Brent Meckes. Danny, I'll text Danny about it.
Brett Meckes back there in 23rd. He has had a rough night, still trying to fight his way back as well. Colgan up in 21st, went a lap down fairly early, but has managed to keep himself relevant just outside of the top 20. And for all those Seamsters out there, Ryan currently in 25th has started making up some ground. Nicholas Seam now up into 28th has started making up a little ground tonight as well. Meanwhile, Petey, you know, this group seems to be just pacing along, working as a team, and it is working really, really well. They still have a 4.3 second gap on Jonathan Schwartz.
And they're having a good race at the moment. And we haven't talked about him in a while, Kyle Bartos. You know, in the longest run we had under the green flag, he was short pitting along with Robert Colgan, his team owner, working their way up towards the front, getting the horsepower, getting the fresher tires, and it's worked out for him really well. He pitted on lap 204, and he's currently in second spot. We should expect him in maybe 10 laps from now.
Yeah, we'll see if he tries to pull the same strategy this time that he's been doing all night long. Be interesting to see. I would be surprised to see him try and short pit. They might try and make that gap between a regular pit stop range and a short pit range and see if they can make that work, but I don't know. It's a bit risky to short pit this late in the race.
The top three, nose to tail. Again, that's Greg Holes in the 19 working with the leaders. Let's move to Ronnie German, who's been trying to make moves on Blake Wynn.
Yeah, and this does nothing but help that lead group with him trying to get past Blake Wynn, and Jonathan Schwartz is blinking.
Oh, wow, that could get interesting. I think Aaron just warned him because I saw him pop up on voice chat. Yes, he is. Oh, boy, this could get interesting and would be another heartbreak out of the Jeff Edgar camp.
Schwartz just grabbed the wall. It looked like he may have grabbed the wall while he had disappeared, trying to see if that car has some right front damage on it. And it does look like it's got some mild right front damage, but his blinking is getting much, much worse.
And he is fading back because of it as well. Luke Turpin looking for 6th on JB Smooth. Just about 10 laps away from potentially the final stops of the night.
Petey continuing to lead one of his best runs of the season.
I can't recall the last if PDJ Zeller has won an XCAL Racing before. That would be an interesting stat. I want to say he has in the past.
Yeah, I believe he's won some points paying races, but they've been few and far between. Now he's put himself in the position, if he can get pit road to go right, if he can get everything to fall in place just right, he might be able to get this done here tonight.
He's got one career win in the XCAL Racing Series. So this could be huge if he could get it done here tonight. Kyle Bartles looking for win number 1. Jose Gaudino looking for win number 1. This could be coming down to the wire, folks, that's for sure.
Looks like there's been a bit of battling a little bit further back in the field.
We are seeing a lot of side-by-side. The drivers are really being patient. I think they're being patient until we get to the final stop of the race. Then the cards are on the table. That's when the chips are going in the pot. But I really want to listen to, as we got a battle for the lead, actually. Kyle Bartles down to the inside. Hold that thought there. The 88 looking to lead for the first time today.
And I think he's going to do it. Petey's not going to fight him too terribly hard right now. As they come off the turn, and he does. He leads his first lap of the night, and 5 bonus points for Bartles.
Great to see from a guy like Kyle Bartles, who's one of the most respected drivers in the XCAL Racing garage. I think what Petey's trying to do is get a draft off, and Kyle Bartles is coming in for what could be his penultimate stop. So he went 37 laps on a tank of fuel. Now remember, as I was saying before we had the battle for the lead, we have to listen closely after the stops to see if anyone is clutching. A lot of drivers, if you have a 3-pedal set, you will be clutching, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, they're going to do anything and everything they can to squeeze just one more drop of fuel here tonight and see if they can make it to victory lane. Jose Godino now in second behind Petey. That group has shrunk down to, with the lap car dropping out, that group has shrunk down to 2 cars. Rodney German, Petey and Jose are on pit road.
Leaders are in for their final stop. This gives Rodney German the lead, and I think it's for the first time today as well.
Yep, we're seeing a lot of first-time leaders late in the fight.
Now, can anyone go 60 laps the distance? That is the real question. Now, we expect Rodney German and all the leaders on back in this lead pack to come in around 12 laps from now, around 8 to 12 laps, I would say.
I think we're going to see several different strategies, but I don't think anybody can make it from here. They're going to have to, okay, there might be one person that could, but that would take a miracle. That'd be Luke Turpin, but we haven't seen that fuel mileage out of Turpin all season long, so I don't think we're going to see it here tonight.
So I actually confirmed this, by the way. The reason why Mason Foster actually, on Mason Foster, why he was a lap down, he got busted for speeding on pit road.
Ouch.
And I think this is the 3rd week in a row where Mason has had a race, where he's had a car in contention to win a race out the window.
That's got to be heartbreaking. Mason's got to have his fingers crossed for a caution here that he is not a part of. Right now, Colgan, Foster, and Mekas would be the 3 to get waved around if the caution comes out.
Let's go to 5th. Steven Rex past John Schwartz. He's got it.
And cars coming up off pit road is this big group of a combination of lead lap cars and lap down cars come by the drivers coming off pit road. A few close calls there, but no harm, no foul as Keneally, Edmund Jones, and Jim Johnson hit pit road.
Final stops for them, potentially. And again, we say potentially as we got a battle for the lead. Rodney German and Blake Wynn both on the outside. Remember, that's PDJ Zeller not battling for the lead. He just came off of pit road. Oh, Blake Wynn looking a little dangerous. Thought he was going to thread the needle there.
I wouldn't be surprised here in about 15, 20 laps to see guys definitely making a move to thread the needle, but it is a bit early, although we have seen guys do it throughout the night. Those guys that are trying to make it to the end, trying to save their car, they're going to hold off as long as possible. German back in the lead.
Nobody pitting amongst the top 13 as German has Zeller cleared. Luke Turpin, by the way, up to 3rd. John Schwartz is 4th. Keneally coming out of pit road. This could be a game of chicken. Who can pit the last potentially? You see Turpin trying to go by the lap car of Petey. You got Schwartz in 4th. Bear in 5th. That's Colgan trying to go by. And oh, look out!
Oh!
Down goes Matt Bear in the grass. Nice save, but he may have just lost the chance to win it.
He drops back to 10th as of right now. He's going to lose a few more spots along the way, I would imagine. But, man, what a heartbreak for Matt Bear.
I don't know. That's a tough call there. I think Bear was just trying to come down, try and find a hole with Schwartz and Colgan. It just wasn't there, and Colgan just simply was not lifting at all. So that's a tough break for Matt Bear.
Looking at the replay.
He's going to need a caution.
Looking at the replay, yeah, he just comes down trying to get the momentum. And Colgan in the 94 was just not going to move.
Once again, tough break for Matt Bear. Will not have a chance at winning this race unless we get a yellow, still on the lead lap, but he's 10 seconds back on the race leader. We got a battle potentially. Nope, that's not a battle. I was looking at Edmund Jones and Austin Edwards, but Edwards decides to work with his former teammate. Remember that 28, owned by Don Jordan, and Edmund Jones used to drive for Austin. Woo! Goes up the track a little.
Yeah, and they are still close friends, so don't be surprised to see these two work together. Austin lost his best when Alex Gratz wrecked. He lost one of his best teammates, the guy who had been closest to him and been the most help to him all night. So now he's looking for any ally he can get.
Pelletier, Colgan, and Snodgrass into pit road. You're going to watch stops here as we go side by side, and when we come back, we are taking you to the finish. Who will go the distance? Stay with us.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection. And now he just recently graduated from St.
My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
"8 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her."
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives.
Pit stops underway, final pit stops again, potentially. Some drivers may have an up, some may not. Top 5 are trying to stretch it out. If you can get to lap 260 here, Doug, you'll be able to go the distance. We're on lap 257 here. Luke Turpin, Austin Evers, Alex Krapser, Jeremy Gilliatt trying to stretch this out. More importantly, though, the top 3 as they are the leaders.
Yeah, and you know Turpin can likely do it. Austin's really good at saving fuel too. Krapser as well. I think these 4 that are staying out, I think they know they can make it. And once they hit 260, you'll see all of them on pit road. But the real concern right now is everybody around them. As we've seen, every pit stop under green flag conditions has gotten sketchy. There's been a problem, so they have got to be extraordinarily careful. And Turpin looks like he's signaling for pit road.
I think he is. We're going to see if he can go 42 laps the distance. We are going to see a lot of the clutch as we wind down to the final laps. Luke is in for his final stop and comes in alone. So now we wait on Austin and Alex.
And you know it's kind of unlikely to see Austin Edwards and Alex Krapser work together, but wouldn't that be something if the 2 of them worked together for a 1-2 finish?
Absolutely. That'd be very impressive.
Austin looks like he is ducking low now down the back straightaway. He's going to come in right at lap 260. Everybody moving up out of the way. He comes down. The 88 almost got him, but he makes it onto pit road.
I think Austin can go the distance here. I think, in my opinion, if you're pitting on lap 260 where Alex is, and the same for Zach, you won't even need to use the clutch, in my opinion.
I think you'll still need to save a little bit just as a precaution, but it ain't going to be nearly as much as what they would have had to save.
Yeah. So just waiting on Alex Krapser and Jeremy Gilliatt, first driver. It's already pitted. Here comes Krapser in, final stop underway. First driver that's already pitted is Robbie Keneally, who pitted on lap 245, 6 seconds ahead of Edmund Jones. As Krapser's in, final stop, we watch.
Jeremy Gilliatt, Zach Edwards still out, still have to make their final stops as well. They are well within the window. So now it comes down to when these 2 guys decide to pit. They will have the freshest tires as well. 1 or 2 laps generally doesn't make a huge deal, but here tonight on this track, it might very well. Gilliatt is in.
So now we wait, and this should give Zach Edwards the race lead. And Doug, when you and I were talking on a commercial break, I was thinking Zach Edwards is going to be the man that could win this race, but I don't think so anymore. I think it's going to be either Austin Edwards or Alex Krapser, since they can go the distance. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's going to be one of them. I think they're going to end up having to work together a little bit, but man, and look at how much slower Zach is right now. He is definitely clutching.
Keneally takes the race lead away. Edmund Jones, let's see if he goes on the high side, but he's kind of stuck in a trap as Zach says, I'm coming into pit.
Edmund is one of those drivers, currently runs in 3rd place, but it's going to take a miracle for him to go the distance on the fuel he has left.
He's got Petey behind him in 4th, Kyle Bartels 5th, Jose Gaudino in 6th. Those were the leaders when we entered the final round of green flag pit stops. So now, if you're Robbie Keneally, who has, as Zach Edwards, by the way, did not come in, a 7-second advantage. He pitted on lap 245. Listening on board, he is not using the clutch at the moment. At what point in this race, if you're Robbie, do you decide to start clutching and coasting? As Zach, by the way, is in pit road.
You've got to start thinking about it now, because it's going to be so close. I really I think he can't bother with it. There's so many of them that had to pit on lap 245 that just can't make it. I think there's only about 2 or 3 drivers Now 4 drivers with Zach Edwards in. There's only a few of them that can go the distance from here. Everybody else is going to have to make a pit stop, and those guys that were able to stretch, yeah, they've got a shot. Luke Turpin still likely has a shot. He's just Luke Turpin doing Luke Turpin things, but everybody else, they're going to have to be very careful here.
It's going to be very interesting. If a caution flag flies, everyone will be able to go the distance thanks to the clutch and using 4th gear. Again, you're looking at Edmund Jones, PDJ Zeller, Kyle Bartels, Jose Gaudino working together. Jimmy Johnson trying to get up in this pack as well with some help from Joe Campbell. Rodney German, then Blake Wynn, John Schwartz, Stephen Rex, Matt Pelletier working together. Luke Turpin working with Austin Edwards and Alex Krapser. Matt Beers by himself, Albert Hewins by himself. John Friley, Greg Holes working together. But those guys are a lap down, so we have 16 drivers on the lead lap. Let's go back to Friley and Holes while we're at it and watch their battle for 17th.
While we're watching that, shout out to Albie Hewins, currently running in 16th. He's been in the top 20 all season after struggling a lot and DNFing quite a few times last season. He still managed to keep fighting back into the top 20 all season long, even with some really great finishes.
So Holes still holding on, actually makes the pass on Friley for 17th.
Jeff Edgar looking down underneath now as well. Jeff back in 34th.
But remember, he had a top 10 car tonight, then he dropped out due to an upload packet loss. That was an unfortunate break. Another battle, 26th. Sean Andrews and Nicholas Seams. Give you a fun fact, because I like to talk about instant points on occasion. We have 8 drivers with 0x tonight. Jeremy Gilliatt, Gerald Poole, Blake Wynn, Kyle Bartels, John Friley, Jeff Edgar, Edmund Jones, Alex Krapser, and PDJ Zeller. They are having a great night tonight. I'll let you take a guess here, Doug, who's got the most.
Wow. Let's see. Looking through the field, I'm going to have to say... Man, I don't know, because there's been a few guys, maybe Mason Foster, because he's been driven over a few times.
Mason's got 6x tonight. It is Joe Campbell with 15. Sorry,
Ouch.
Danny.
Well, another rough night for Joe. He's been put in the wall a couple times, so it kind of makes sense, but it is a bit heartbreaking as Joe was, poised to have another great race and was making his way up through the field early on.
Greg, Albert, and Makis come in for their final stop. That's interesting. As we continue to watch the leader. Go ahead.
The top 6, we know for a fact, cannot make it. They stopped on 240 to 255 or 245.
Yes.
Rodney German in 7th place stopped at 252, and then the rest of them's like 250 to 255. You have to get back to Luke Turpin in 12th and Austin Edwards in 13th before you find guys we know can go the distance. It's still going to be a bit dicey for them. Could be very, very close, as the fuel window coming into tonight was 39 laps. So these guys are going to be at the absolute limit of fuel.
Remember, the most anyone has gone tonight is actually not just 39, but also 40. So if we're looking at this, first driver that we know is good to go the distance is Alex Krapser on lap 260. We're talking this amongst the leaders. Those that will have to clutch their way to victory and coast: Luke Turpin and Austin Edwards. Luke pit on lap 258, Austin on 259, Luke Turpin 13th, Austin Edwards 14th, Alex Krapser 15th.
Well, it's definitely going to be a wild run to the end. We could see a lot of guys I know we're going to see some just take fuel. They're just going to take a splash and go to keep it and make it to the end. And it may come down with drivers in the top 10. It may come down to who can take the least amount of fuel. But I think the top 3 or 4 are going to be guys that stayed out here, stretched it as far as they possibly could, and now they're going to have to do it again.
Let's take a ride on board here with Jose Gaudino and listen in. As you hear, he's still going full throttle. There's no sign of him clutching. Same with Kyle Bartels. PDJ Zeller I'm interested in hearing him because obviously he's got a setup. But I think the ones that are going to be clutching is the ones that are not in a train. You know what I mean from that. So like, you take Matt Bear, for example, who has got a car 8 seconds ahead of him, Matt Pelletier, and 2 seconds behind in Luke Turpin. As I listen on board with him, he's keeping his car full throttle. He pitted on lap 254. Luke Turpin pitted on 258, but he's got company in Austin Edwards and Alex Krapser. So the drivers we're watching closely here as we get set to come to the finish, as Krapser is clutching. Krapser decided to back out and decide it's time to start clutching here. See if I can go the distance.
And, you know, he was one of the latest to hit pit road, so that really makes you wonder. But, you know, with different setups, different gear choices, they might have more fuel mileage. Somebody might be running a taller gear that allows them to get that extra lap or two, but man, yeah. if Krapser's trying to save fuel, that's got to worry a guy like Austin Edwards and Luke Turpin. Although I don't think Luke Turpin has ever worried about fuel mileage in his life. He could probably get into a 1-ton truck and get 100 miles to a gallon.
Let's watch some racing here up in the front. Petey's coming in. Petey and Jose come in. Final stop on lap 275, and where they will hope everyone can run out of fuel and where they can try and go to the end. But if everyone pits, we know what speedway racing is like in these long runs. It's a game of chicken. If you pit later, you got the best chance of winning this race because you can take less fuel. And I like this call from Petey and Jose, taking just the minimum amount of fuel to go the distance.
Jose took... no, that was Ryan Seams that just got a, I believe. Yeah, that was Ryan Seams. He got a splash and went, but some of these drivers are taking 4 in fuel. Petey's taking 4 tires in fuel. Bartels is on pit road now. Edmund Jones now up into second. He'll still have to stop. Bartels is the first one out of the top 5 to hit pit road.
Watching some other racing. You got Ronnie German, Blake Wynn for 4th. But let's watch Turpin and Krapser as they are side by side in some lap traffic. That's Colgan in front of both of them in a battle for 10th. Potentially the win too. Krapser's not clutching. And neither is Turpin or Edwards. Under 25 laps to go at Nashville.
Worth reminding everybody at 10 laps to go, even if the caution comes out, there will be no wave arounds. At 5 laps to go, there will be no more cautions.
Krapser signals I think he's coming in this time. I'm not too sure on that. Actually, that's rather Austin Edwards on the 18.
I would be surprised to see if Austin comes. He's not slowing.
Nope, he's not coming in. Looked like he was there for a moment.
Looked like he was just trying to make some moves.
Looking down the back straightaway at the drivers that are just around the top 5. German still 4th, Wynn 5th, Schwartz 6th. How about the guy in 3rd spot? We haven't talked about him yet today. Jimmy Johnson's in 3rd spot. He's had a tough night tonight and has had a great job rebounding to get up to P3. How about that?
Yeah, Jim definitely knows how to come back and make something happen out of nothing. He's doing a great job as always. You know, he was one of the, a little bobble out of Jim. I think he may be coming to pit road.
Keneally's in.
Keneally gives up the lead. Here comes Jim Johnson giving up third. Edmund Jones will go to the point.
The first driver we know that is good to go the distance is Kyle Bartels who is currently scored in 14th position.
Oh, look at the what just happened right in front of Bartels. The two drivers, the 960, I can't tell who the other one is. They both just they just shot up the track in front of him.
A super duper close call for Kyle Bartels for sure.
Edmonds on pit road. He gives up the lead. The lead now goes to Rodney German.
It'll be interesting to see where both Keneally and Jones are scored on the exit of pit road. Keneally's exiting, 34-second stop. For those wondering, the other drivers, Bartels went 32, Petey went 42, and Gaudino went 41. Edmund Jones brings his car in. Johnson also came in. Johnson went 33. Let's watch. I'm going to keep an eye out on Edmund's stop. See if he can go under 34.
Looks like he's got it up and getting right side tires.
A little risky there for Edmund. Because when you take tires, the fuel fill is slower. So Edmund goes 32. That's an interesting call to see if anyone goes for tires. Because remember, this is not a wide open racetrack. You gotta let off the gas and use some brake on entry when we get longer into a run. So Rodney German in the lead with 17 laps to go. And this is a 5-car battle for what is now the race lead. Matt Bear is in pit road. We'll watch his stop. First driver that's good to go, Keneally on 280. The gap, 6.5 seconds on Kyle Bartels.
And you know,
Keneally looking for his first win. I'm sorry, Doug, go ahead.
Joe Campbell up here in the mix with these lead lap drivers. He's trying to hang on and pick up some points as well. What a rough night for Joe, but you got to give it to the guy. He has never once given up, no matter what has happened.
Absolutely. So now, as we look at this lead pack,
Matt Bear just rolled off in 22.6.
That's a good stop right there, but he will not come out as the leader. Keneally comes out as the leader, provisional leader of those that have already came in. So right now, as this lead draft at the moment, I would not want to be in Ronnie German's shoes because he's the leader. He has the clean air. Well, if you're Blake Wynn all the way down to Matt Pelletier, you want to be where you want to be because you're in the draft. You can use less fuel. You can lift off the loud pedal from time to time.
I think we're going to see Rodney German using these lap cars like the 25 and the 6 directly ahead. I think we're going to see him use them on the straightaway to save a little fuel. Maybe go 90-95% on the throttle through the turn or through the straightaways, and then just a little extra out of the throttle. But regardless, he stopped on 145. He cannot go the distance. Whereas 6th, 7th, and 8th, Luke Turpin, Austin Edwards, and Alex Krapser, they are committed regardless at this point.
Projected amongst the top 5, just around 9 or 8 laps to go. Leader working on Zach Edwards, who is a lap car. We'll listen on board here to Luke Turpin. He is using the clutch. Turpin is on the clutch. I'm going to listen to Austin Edwards in turns 3 and 4 here if he's using the clutch. Pelletier, meanwhile, in pit road.
Wow, that's a surprise that Turpin is using the clutch. That's not something you see every day.
Austin's on it too. Alex is on it too. The drivers in 6 through 8 think they've got what it takes to go for the win. Let's remember as well, Luke Turpin only with 2 wins on the season. The last time he won, you got to go back to April 19th at South Boston. That's how long it has been since he's been to victory lane.
That's a little peculiar because last season we saw him up in contention week in and week out, just battling with Austin Edwards. Tonight's shaping up very much the same.
Alex Krapser with 1 win on the season. He hasn't won since May 3rd at Lanier. German is in the pits.
In fact, as I recall, Luke Turpin the first half of the season was neck and neck for the points.
He was. Won at USA International Speedway on round number 2.
Schwartz and Rex are in.
One driver coming out, that's Stephen Wetton, waiting for German stop. He's in the 20-second range. And he goes 22 seconds. Great stop, but Keneally gets by. Keneally inching closer and closer. But the thing is, he is 20 seconds behind Turpin, Edwards, and Krapser. He's going to have to hope that they run out of fuel.
And we know that Krapser will not run out of fuel on this one. The other 2 directly ahead of him, big question mark right now. Those 2 guys clutching, saving. Alex Krapser does not have to do so. He has got just a couple laps more than both of the drivers ahead of him, and he is able to sit back there in the draft and stay with them. He's going to be good to go. This might be Alex's race.
Great stop for John Schwartz. 18-second stop. That puts him maybe about 2 seconds behind Robbie Keneally. Now watching Blake win. He loses the lead currently to Turpin, Edwards, and Krapser. And this is a long stop from the looks of it. Can he get out? 18 seconds. He's out 18:33. Probably be in front of John Schwartz from the looks of it. Keneally just crossed the start-finish line. Blake went 4th on pit exit. This could get interesting here. Keneally gets by. But does Wynn have a better car than Keneally? It's going to get interesting. But now we watch your top 3 with 9 laps to go. If they do not run out, this is the battle for the win.
No more wave arounds. If the caution came out now, you're stuck on the lap you're on. So it's coming down to this. It's all up to the drivers. They've got what they got, and they can't do anything else with it.
Krapser looking on the outside for 2nd position. These are 3 drivers. They are not teammates. All on different teams. They are racing each other hard while trying to clutch and go the distance.
Whoa, Austin major slide up the track. He is not clutching anymore. He's trying to stay with Krapser and make his way around Luke Turpin here.
Krapser clutching barely. I don't think the top 2 are. 8 laps to go. So that was Edwards that was clutching rather. Krapser's not. Turpin I don't think is either. Edwards is clutching. Neither were the top 2. Going to be 7 laps to go here at Nashville Superspeedway. Right now it's go for the win or just run out of fuel.
Keneally back and forth. The gap now down to just over 16.25 seconds and closing very rapidly. Last time by he was half a second faster than the top 3, but with 7 laps to go, he needs a lot more than that.
If the top 3 run out and cannot make it to the checkers, Keneally would win his first career XCAL race.
And it's only like his 3rd or 4th start.
That's right. 6 laps to go. For Keneally, this is his 3rd start officially. 6 to go.
Leaders in lap traffic.
Look at Edwards.
Austin's making a move.
Trying to go 2 for 1 for the race lead. You couldn't hear any engines. It's like Formula E off of turn 2. Edwards wants the race lead. 3 wide down the back straight. Coming to 5 to go. We will turn off all cautions for the rest of this race. Krapser's lifting.
At the line, it's going to be Austin. No.
5 laps remain.
It was
at the
Superman.
line. Unofficially, it's Edwards by 0.7 of a second. 5 laps left. Edwards nearly gets into Turpin.
I legitimately thought Turpin had it at the line. This may come down to who can coast better.
They're left in. They're clutching. Can Edwards clear Luke Turpin? Krebser's faded back a half second. 4 laps to go in the Music City. At the line, it's going to be close. I think it's Turpin.
It's going to be a hard-fought battle. It was a hard-fought battle throughout this race, and now it's they touch
each other. Can they save it? They can. Now can Turpin clear Edwards? He can. That allows Alex Krebser to close in. It's down to a quarter of a second.
Krebser ain't lifting now.
Oh, looking for the slider. Coming to 3 laps to go. Edwards tries to use the bumper on Turpin. Turpin tries the defensive line. Krebser is there. 3 are left at Nashville.
And Krebser actually giving a hand to Austin Edwards here down the front straightaway. Drops back to the bottom. Austin back up to the high side.
Who's going to get the better exit off at turn 2? Looks to be Luke Turpin. Cuts it back down in line. On board with them. Goes up the outside. Almost touching at turns 3 and 4. That's so tight for the race lead.
They're going
Krebser wants second.
They're going to have lap traffic in here in a minute as well. Even though they're saving fuel, and Krebser's sneaking by.
Oh my, this could get interesting with all the traffic in front.
Keneally is down to 13 and a half seconds.
And all the traffic behind that are good to go on fuel. Krebser pushing Luke Turpin down the back straight. Who will be able to go the distance? Austin Edwards. Big send into 3 and 4. Can he clear Turpin at the line of the white flag? Yes, he can. Final lap underway at Nashville.
Wow, this is going to be close, and you have to wonder, does he have enough fuel? Because if he even sputters, Turpin's coming back by.
If Austin Edwards wins this race, it's that send in 3 and 4 that will win the race. Half a lap to go. Turpin, I think he's out of gas. He is. Krebser's up to second, and he pulls away. Austin Edwards through 3 and 4. Gonna extend the points lead once again. Win number 8 of the season. It's drift time at the Music City. Austin Edwards, checkered flag, wins at Nashville.
Does Austin have enough left to drift? It doesn't look like he's got any left. The engine is off in Austin Edwards' car. No, he's got a little juice.
He wants to do it in 3 and 4.
Apparently
He's setting it up.
So.
What a race at the end.
Definitely so. That was a close battle.
I don't know if we've ever seen a race like that with the top 3 not just battling for the win but clutching at the same time.
Turpin comes home in 3rd. That was a great recovery. And look at the sportsmanship here. Zach Edwards is pushing Luke Turpin back around the pit road.
That's some respect for sure. Oh, you love it for Austin Edwards, but man, you hate it for Alex Krebser and Luke Turpin, both trying to end winless streaks.
And what a night it was.
For sure. So we will get your top 3 on in here momentarily.
I think Zach Edwards is also... No, he's moving.
And Austin had enough to do a burnout. Getting your top 3 all in here, and we are good to go. Let's begin with our 3rd place finisher sorry Alex, we'll get you in a moment. Let's get our 3rd place finisher in here in Luke Turpin. Luke, that was a dogfight to the end there. How much fuel did you have left on that final lap?
Oh, we were done, man. I was a half a lap short. I knew I was in trouble early. I was 1 lap to the bad to Austin, and I was 2 laps to the bad to Crapser. So I pulled some of it back, but it's tough to manage the race and save fuel at the same time. That's a tough deal, but there's not too bad. We haven't been running real good recently, but that's not too bad.
Overall, though, that had to have been a fun race tonight.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you had to think about kind of what you were doing. I think at one point in time we considered splitting the last strategy, and then we just kind of went for it on it. So it was definitely a good race. I don't think there's many cautions, which was really good. And I wish it would have gone green at the end. If you would have cut that race halfway, we were looking real good. But it kind of brought everybody back together, and it was tough.
It was a great run, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Matt Bear, man, that guy puts in tons of work. He gets us in the field every week. I don't put a whole lot of effort towards this much anymore, so I really appreciate him. Holes for showing up every week and helping us out. And we had some assistance from another team that kind of helped us out with the setup, so they know who they are. I wanted to shout out to those guys. They've always run good with us in the past, clean guys, so I appreciate them helping us out.
All right, man, we'll let you go. Great run tonight.
Thanks.
Luke Turpin, our 3rd place finisher here tonight. Let's get our 2nd place finisher, and Alex Crapser. Ah, man, that was oh so close. What more did you need for Austin?
I don't know, kind of talked to him about it, and I think it was just a little bit better track position. Like, I kind of made up my mind that I was going to be the one that pushed Luke because I knew Luke didn't have as much fuel as us, so I went to the outside and probably just a little bit too early. And, Austin just was patient, waited for me to go to the top and then pass me. And then whenever it was time to be on the top at the end, when Luke ran out right in front of me, Austin was the one on the top and just kind of escaped.
How much fuel did you have left at the final lap?
I probably had an extra lap. I saved a little bit too much, but I think I went 42 on the second to last run and then 40 on the last run. So I could have probably gone 41 or maybe even 42 on the last run, but didn't need to. Had a little bit too much fuel.
It was a great run, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Just everyone on the team. We didn't have a great night as far as cars in the top 10, but we all persevered, and PD ended up on the lead lap after thinking he was going to finish a couple laps down, so he had a solid recovery. Just got to thank Flaming Karma Paint Shop, Jerry, all the sponsors, How to Suck at iRacing, and everyone on the team.
Great job tonight. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Alex Crapser taking the 2nd place finish here. Now it is time to go to Victory Lane. Fuel Factor X Victory Lane, presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating. Austin Edwards, win number 8 on the season. How much fuel, first off, did you have left at the final lap?
I had just enough to do burnouts, Marty. That's how these big tracks end up. It's a lot of fuel saving, a lot of using the clutch, lifting early, and trying not to run each other over. And it was, I got to say, big props to Crapser and Turpin out there. That was a really awesome battle to the finish. I don't know what I pulled out of my rear end to shoot by him on that last lap there, but it worked out just right. And overall, it just came out to be a really good day.
You pulled a sender there with 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go. Did you think that was going to stick, or was that just a big risk?
I really didn't, Marty. I didn't think there was anything left on the outside. The only thing that I did notice that led me to that decision was seeing how low Turpin was keeping it to save fuel. And I know if you pinch off your entry, you're going to lose a lot of center and exit speed. So I figured I'd run my qualifying line, throw it up there against the wall, and swing it down. And luckily I didn't go too low and hit the guy. But overall, some really good racing. Just got a really, really fast car that stuck at the end there. And overall, a good day, good points day. Overall, a really, really good day.
Well, next week we go road racing at Texas. We know you won that one last year. I'm sure you're excited for that one too.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Marty, the only reason I won that last year is because Turpin decided to go head on into a wall. So I do have some work to do if I'm going to beat him next week.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Oh, first off, a big shout-out to my team. There was Gratz and Keneally out there, 2 good friends of mine. We had a real interesting strategy going on there. I don't think would have worked out to the end, but they were real helpful keeping me up in the front there, keeping gas in my tank. Big thanks to all the guys at EHP keeping us going fast. JR Graphics Design, JR Button Boxes, and all the guys at XCAL.
Hey, don't forget your
Congratulations.
sugar mama.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Austin.
Thank you, Marty.
Great run for Austin Edwards tonight as he celebrates Infield Factor X Victory Lane presented by KMU Trucking and Excavating. Let's bring you your official results here from tonight's race at Nashville. Austin Edwards takes the win. Alex Krapser second. Luke Turpin third. Robbie Keneally fourth. Blake Wynn fifth. John Schwartz sixth. Stephen Rex seventh. Ronnie German eighth. Kyle Bartles ninth. And Edmund Jones 10th. Matt Pelletier 11th. Matt Bear 12th. James Johnson 13th. PDJ Zeller 14th. Jeremy Gilliatt 15th. Jose Gaudino 16th. 17th is Zach Edwards. 18th, John Friley, 19th, Sean Patrick, and Greg Holz, 20th. Doug?
The 21st is Robert Colgan. Albie Hewins comes home in 22nd. Mason Foster, good recovery in 23rd. Brett Meckus, 24th. 25th is Billy Snodgrass. Ryan Seams comes home 26th. Nicholas Seams has a comeback to 27th. Sean Andrews in 28th. Kevin Church, 29th. Brad Eblay comes home 30th. Thanos finishes 31st. Stephen Wetton 32nd. Jeff Edgar 33rd. Don Jordan finishes 34th. Joe Campbell, a very difficult night, finishes in 35th. Chris Johnson 36th. Tyler McRae 37th. Alex Gratz 38th. Adam Gilliatt, Art Hendren, Jonathan Bergeron, and Derek Colson round out the field tonight.
Tonight we had only 3 cautions for 12 laps with a total of 56 lane changes. So here are your leaders in tonight's race that will receive 5 bonus points. Austin Edwards led 67, Alex Krapser 2, Luke Turpin 33, Robbie Keneally 53, Blake Wynn 62, Ronnie German 17, Kyle Bartles 1, Edmund Jones 2, Matt Bear 2, PDJ Zeller 21, Jeremy Gilliatt 1, Zach Edwards 11, and 8 from Mason Foster, 8 from Billy Snodgrass, and 1 from Jeff Edgar, and 11 from Alex Gratz. Leading the most laps was Austin Edwards with 67, so that gives him a total of 185 bonus points. Fastest lap during the feature was Austin Edwards, 34.741, gives him 190 points. On pole position for tonight was Zach Edwards. He finished in 17th place, so that gives him a total of, add on the 5 bonus points, gives him a total of 124 points. And your hard charger of the race, up 39 spots, Austin Edwards once again from 40th to the race win. So that is 5, 10, 15, 20 bonus points. 195. I think that is the most you can win in an XCAL race. That is confirmed, by the way. Looking as well. I had a thought in my head, but popped away. If that happens, I'll get it back to you here before we head off the broadcast. But final thoughts as we head to the Texas Road Course next week. That should be an interesting and a long one, too.
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast, and I think we've seen a few more road courses this season, a few different ones, so the guys going back to a road course they know is definitely going to be something they enjoy, and it's definitely going to be a great race.
Absolutely. Robbie Keneally, by the way, was the second best hard charger, up 38 for those wondering. So that's what it was. So with that, we will bid adieu here for tonight, and we'll see you next week at Texas Road Course. On behalf of everyone at XCAL Racing, all the drivers and sponsors, our admins, our president, Aaron Hillebush, our vice president, PDJ Zeller. On behalf of my broadcast partner tonight in Doug Burns, working the buttons in the booth, Marty Sakala signing off for tonight. Congratulations to Austin Edwards. Win number 8 of the season, and he gets it done at the Nashville Superspeedway. So long, everyone.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and e-NASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
This is my good friend who had cancer when we were really little, and he was able to beat it through early detection, and now he just recently graduated from Santa Clara.
This picture's really funny. My dad was diagnosed with cancer my freshman year of high school. Thanks to early detection, he now gets to see me graduate from college.
"8 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, but thanks to early detection, I'll get to spend this Christmas with her."
My dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10, and he passed away soon after. Maybe if we had early detection, he would have been able to be there to walk me down the aisle.
Early detection saves lives.